What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. We at Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
Coach JB.
Yeah. Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop until
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so past it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gas, Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
What up? We're here. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday. So talk and I will talk back on the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. Make sure you pound that like. Subscribe to the greatest show on Planet ERF. Subscribe to winnable.com/slap picks for betting picks and access to the Slap Nation Discord. Become a member today for just $2.99. The winnables will be up and active by tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday. We got a loaded lineup. Steve Kim and some of your fan favorite, Tank Johnson, will be joining us today. Talk about some Tank soldiers. We're going to talk about the draft, the NFL draft, the tackle rules, the new rules, and what the NFL has become. We're going to dive into that with Tank Johnson. Steve Kim, we're going to talk a little boxing with him. His last weekend in Arizona. Plus what's on the card moving forward. We got a lot going on, though. We're going to dive into it. Final Four is set for the females. Caitlin Clark put on a show, apparently. I did not get to see it. I was in traffic. But let me start the show off with this. Blood is not always thicker than water. Kobe Bryant, the great Kobe Bean Bryant, who passed away, rest in peace. One of the youngest people in the world, I would say that it was a hero to me. Probably the only person younger than me that I would say I would look at as a hero. Kobe was that guy to me. He passed away on bad terms with his parents. Probably the worst way to go. A ring was gifted to his father that was auctioned off yesterday for a record $972,000. They tried auctioning his things before. Vanessa fought it. Others got involved, lawyers, etc. But finally, they succumbed and sold the ring that was gifted to him. Sometimes, as I can attest, family members automatically think they are owed something, and something fierce, I might add. Sometimes family is a silent enemy that lurks, waiting in the shadows for the successful one to pass away. Harsh reality, but a real one. Let that sink in. Blood is not always thicker than water. I can attest. We're going to dive into it, but let's get into the show. Ex-NFL cornerback Vontae Davis found dead at 35 years old in his Miami home. The lawyers of Rashee Rice say that he is cooperating with authorities now using some sort of encrypted tweet note message. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. Kobe Bryant's ring auctioned off by his father, like I said, for $972,000. And the NCAA, the non-caring assholes of America, who seem to always be the judge, jury, and executioner, cannot even get the three-point lines correct in a Sweet 16 matchup for the women. The 3-point line was 9 inches short in a Sweet 16 matchup. Can't wait to dive into this one. SMU hires ex-USC coach Infield to replace Lanier. Infield, Joel Embiid could return tonight. But the big news is Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and what a game apparently that I did not watch. Angel Reese apparently cried us a fucking river and complained about how hard her life is without complimenting Caitlin Clark for beating that ass. But we'll dive into that. But before we begin, my wonderful self-esteemed co-host extraordinaire, Ball State legend, Naptown's finest, 317 Far East Side great, and AR5 defending, Lamar Jackson loving, LeBron hairline having, Fox Sports' very own. Welcome in the silent one, the quiet one, Big Smitty. Clap it up quietly.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Smitty. Talk That Talk Tuesday. We here live right now in the Premier Studio Lounge, man. It's called the Quiet Lounge, man. You can't get too loud. You can't get too quiet. You gotta stay in that same octave the entire show, man. JB, how you doing?
When you text me now, I picture it's quiet. Like the text is like, "What's up, JB?"
I like this though. Everything happens for a reason, JB, and this is forcing me to just. Cause you be stressing me out, JB, on the show. I ain't gonna lie, you be getting my heart rate going, my blood pressure be real high. So now this is making me just calm down, think logically, and still eat the same way. I'm cooking
you. I want to make today. It might be the worst one. I'm gonna get you so amped up that you get evicted. But having said that, we're gonna move into the studio soon. This makes you want to move in the studio, though.
Oh, 100%. Like
I'm saying, that's my whole thing. That's my psyche. That's the coaching me. You don't even know about it.
as soon as I leave here, I got a quick move. I got to go check out a certain spot. You know what I mean? That's why I just got out the shower real quick. I usually take a shower after I work out after the show, but I'm not gonna be able to work out today in the morning because I'm making moves for us so we can grow. So take a shower before, boom, jumped into the show 2 minutes ago. I'm gonna cook you all show for 3 hours. Leave here, boom, get dressed, go down there, check out the spot, boom, go to work, come back here. Like I'm just constantly moving and working.
We just don't be like Marquette King or whatever his name is, because I think his girl wears the pants in the relationship. I don't I'm trying to figure out. Don't be like Marquette King.
Better be careful, man. Hey, I heard Marquette don't play around.
Yeah,
that's word on the street. And the girl a boxer, so she probably been teaching them how to box. So better be careful, JB.
Can't wait. Please come on over and show me.
You ain't fought in a long time, JB. It's been about 20 years since your last fight.
Don't need to either. Huh.
All right, he young and he in shape. I don't know.
That's fine. They'll be leaving that day like, damn, old man fucking just got a hold of me. I couldn't get out of it.
You gonna have him like this, JB?
I'm not wasting my time. I'll be out of breath. I'm get over it, and that's it. It's fucking done. Let's get to the quote of the day, brought to you by betonline.ag. What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. All right, let's get right to brass tacks, as I like to say it. Quote of the day.
Brass tacks.
Smitty, we have 2 lives, and the second one begins when we realize we only have one.
Ooh.
We have 2 lives, and the second one begins when we realize we only have one.
That's a bar. Like it sounds crazy, but I don't think I fully understand it yet. My brain's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, so we have everyone always like, oh, you live a life before you get to puberty, you live a life after. Some may say that. Some may say you live 2 lives, one as a pre-marriage, at post-marriage. There's always 2 lives, people say, but I've always said this one. We have 2 lives, and the second one begins when we realize that we just have the one, meaning that all gas, no brakes, meaning that you can't regret, you can't turn back. There's no rearview mirrors. I only look forward. I don't look backwards. There's just nowhere. I don't go that way, Smitty. I'm not going that way. So why would I look in the rearview mirror?
I like that. I like that's powerful.
Contrary to belief. Ooh. Energy and persistence conquer all things, contrary to belief.
Energy, so how you approach something, the energy you put into it, and persistence. That means not giving up, keep getting back. You fall down, you get up. You fall down, you get up. Keep trying to figure out. That conquers all things. I like that, JB. And I'm a persistent dude. If I want some, I'm going to get it. Yeah.
Build callous. Got to get hit in the mouth. Got to get hit in the face. Your generation don't want to do that, though. Poll question. The women's tournament has been better than the men's.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell no. Hell yeah. The women's tournament has been in the
comments. I haven't watched it. USC lost last night. Juju had a great tournament as a young freshman.
She was open.
Right here out of LA.
She messed up my prize picks, though. I ain't going to lie to you. I had a perfect prize picks. I chose Juju to be under 27.5 points. This woman had 27 with 11 seconds left, and they let her go down to the lane and shoot a layup to go. And I love Juju. I want Juju to ball. I wanted her to score 27 points and they win the game. Like I was going for Juju. I just didn't want her to score more than 27. This woman literally scored her last bucket with like 11 seconds left, and that kept $500 out of my pocket. Everything else that I listed worked. It happened. Caitlin Clark had to score over 32.5 points. She did that. Angel Reese had to score less than 18.5 points. She did that. Fly J. Johnson had to score more than 17. She dropped 23. All I needed was Juju, Cali, LA, SC, that Juju to score 27 or less, and she got one more bucket at the end.
I was rooting for a LA team, obviously, Pac-12 team, West Coast team. I don't like SC. I've always been a UCLA guy when it comes to those things, but I was rooting for SC. But then the back side of my brain was like, goddamn, Gino Auriemma, to me, I've talked about on this show, is my favorite coach, period, of any gender, sport, whatever. God, it's great to see him back in it. No one thought was going to be that good. They may have one of the best players in the country at UConn as well.
Paige Beckers is a beast, and she was the girl everybody was talking about a couple years ago, but she tore her ACL last year, so she kind of got quiet, but she's back hooping, and people are saying that in terms of translate to the WNBA, she might be the best player out of this actual, this group. And she's coming back next year, though. She's already said she's coming back to UConn next year, so they're going to have her again.
He's an unbelievable coach. They've been riddled with injuries from everything I've seen, and he's got them back in the Final Four. First time ever, by the way, that NC State men and women and UConn men and women, meaning 2 teams, both sides are in the Final Four.
That's amazing. That has to feel good as a
athletic director.
Athletic director, yeah. You go like, dang, I hired.
I got a raise.
Now you fight flexing, you popping your collar right now. And then the cool thing about the women's side, JB, there's so many storylines. Like there's good storyline for every team. Like you have a reason to root for every team yesterday if you wanted to, So whether it's LSU and there are a lot of Angel Reese fans and Fly J, and then Kim Mulkey, who's already a Hall of Fame coach, and then you just mentioned Gene. Juju and being a freshman, breaking the freshman scoring record and wanting to see USC make it back to the Final Four, and they haven't done that in I don't know when. And then Iowa, of course, with Caitlin Clark being the best player in the world at the college level. It's just like there's so many storylines for each team. That's what makes the women's tournament so exciting right now. And I hate that you had to miss it, but you did have a good time yesterday. I saw your Instagram, and you had a good time in San Diego.
Yeah, it was a horrible time, but
okay.
Nah, it was cool. Traffic in this state is just hard to move around, but it was much easier to get in and out of that game than it was LA Dodgers. We left 8th inning. We were smart this time. The games go by so fast, Smitty. I don't know how the fans don't feel absolutely just ripped off after a baseball game.
Why is that?
Because the money you have to spend to go to it. Luckily, shout out to Keynan, got us great tickets again. The money you have to spend to go out with the family to any sporting event, especially in this state, is unbelievable. Like you're spending, I did the math. If I were to spend the tickets money and buy those tickets that I had in LA on Thursday and opening day, and what I spent on beer, whatever we had, did we even get any food?
Nachos. You had some nachos, probably.
No, I didn't have nachos. So I bought 3 beers when we first walked in. 3 beers was $60 in LA. All right. Then about 4th inning, I got they didn't have no whiskey. I got a vodka. I got a Tito's Splash Cranberry.
Okay.
And a Michelada for my and then my boy Cisco and his son, they got something. It came out to $85 for those things. All right. Parking was $45.
Okay.
To get in. The tickets would have been $800. So where Keynan got us. So we would have spent $1,200 to go to a game. If I had a family of 4, that was my wife and my son, 2 sons, let's say.
Right.
$1,200. Last night in San Diego, probably about the same. Parking was actually more in San Diego, and drinks were actually more in San Diego yesterday.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
San Diego, I think, came out a couple months ago. San Diego is the highest mortgage, rent, tax, and groceries in the country.
Dang, that's crazy. You would think LA would be more, especially not just because it's LA, but also because the Dodgers roster is crazy right now. Yeah. So you thought that would charge more, but
San Diego's the highest rent per capita, I think, in the country, unless it's changed since the new year. But right before the new year, San Diego was the highest per capita in the country. So I don't know how people are doing that, and everyone thinks, oh yeah, go have a fun time in the game. Don't see how you do it. I don't see how you do it. I'm like, there's no way I would do it. I wouldn't do it. But my whole point of this whole rant is, Smitty, the games are 2 hours long. I spent all that getting in there, spending that money, and the games go by like this. Like it's not even like I didn't even watch the game last night. I'm just trying to bullshit, hang out, chill. Fucking game goes by like this. I spent $1,200. It's like that 2-stroke peasant. You bust too quick, and you're like, fuck.
Was it not more exciting, though, from a visual standpoint? Because I know baseball usually be 3-4 hours, but, like, at the same time, it's a lot of just dead time. They're just sitting there. Like, it's long, but it's long for no reason.
You rather go, 7th inning stretch, the wave. Like, there ain't shit no more, homie. The game's like that. You go get a hot dog, homie, you're missing 3 innings. Like, it's fucking unbelievable. The pitches are coming, boom, 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 boom. Like, there's no way I'd go pay for it.
But you shouldn't even want a hot dog because you're in there for 2 hours. Like, I mean, get your initial hot dog off the back from the beginning, get your beer. You should be good for 2 hours.
We went to a bar before and ate because we got there early. Yeah, we went across the street. We had we got like I got wings.
Where'd y'all go?
Boy, Jerry Ports, if he's in the chat here, I don't know. He got a burrito. He got tacos.
Of course.
It's fucking. What was that? $100, but it was cheaper than the store than going to be at the stadium. But it's right across from the stadium.
I probably ate there before. I was over there in Echo Park.
No, this was San Diego last night. So
I was going to San Diego. I'm sorry, I was talking about the Dodger. My fault.
So we were in San Diego. Easy in and out. You just pay it, park on the ground. Boom, boom, boom. And nice setup. They got it downtown. I've been there a few times. They got it downtown, right in the heart. You can sit on the grassy knoll, so to speak, and watch the games. Like, the experience, see, everybody's excuse in the chat is, eat at home. Eat before you get there. That's not the experience I'm talking about, homie. Why? Why go to the game then? If I eat at home, Smitty, I'm going to watch the game at home as I fucking eat at home. Right. It makes no sense.
Right.
The experience is go get a Dodger dog. Go get a dog. Why the fuck? And people talking about, well, it goes for the rich. Go sit up in the top then. Who the fuck wants to go to the nosebleeds with their family just so they can afford it. Like, that's stupid. Like, that's my whole point. Regular average Joes can't afford these games. And they go by like this. It's like, to me, it's just like, dog, I don't understand it. I could see it really quickly crippling baseball. Oakland, the last year they're going to be there, whatever, before they go to Vegas. Nobody's going there. There's like 2,000 people attending a pro baseball game, bro. 2,000 people. First of all, they're shitty, one of the worst rosters in baseball, but nobody's showing up for the fact that you're leaving us, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Plus, they haven't been showing up anyway. So,
right.
It's crazy, dog. I don't get it. All right, let's get into Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese, I don't know. I got an interesting take on it. It's always about some race and color. I'm kind of getting sick of this whole thing. The media now is complaining, and then there's people in the media like Jamil Hill. They're all complaining that Caitlin Clark receives too much coverage, and they're saying she's receiving way more coverage than the black athlete. And I'm just like, fuck, dog. It's always something. I haven't heard anybody, Smitty, anyone I know, Marcellus, Whitlock, any black person I know, no one mentioned color at all. They're mentioning a female. Like, I gotta ask you, what is it? Is it the female equity side or is it the black side? I'm trying to figure out. Nobody gives a fuck. It's like us playing football in the locker room, Smitty. You didn't care who your coach was. We didn't look at color. We didn't look at our teammates' color. We didn't give a fuck. I haven't never heard you like, man, yeah, we'll fuck around. That white girl's bad. We'll say that type of shit.
Yeah.
But I ain't never heard you say, man, Caitlin getting way more coverage than Angel Reese. It's fucking crazy. I don't understand why they always push this narrative. Why can't it just be a fucking female? That's when it starts to hurt the female sport. Like, we already know what happens on the men's side. Now it hurts the female side when we're just bringing down. It's just always color or some shit. I'm like, oh, just let the motherfuckers be. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't say shit about color.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why your motherfucking ass is so worried about it.
Well, I think it got brought up initially because, and we mentioned on this show, I think yesterday, that that whole write-up, that article, you know what I'm saying, that was written up. That was two of them. There was the Washington Post one, I think, and then the LA Times. But the LA Times one specifically, if you like read through it, like it's just some weird lines in there. It's like, do you prefer milk and cookies or you want the Frank's Red Hot Sauce? Or you want it's just some weird like if we keeping it 1,000, like, all right, like it was some race elements within that write-up, you know what I'm saying, as well. So it's not, I don't think it's just coming from left field. It's not people just making it up. I think there has been elements, stuff like that, where for whatever reason this kind of became a little bit of a race thing. You got the Iowa, you got the Sweetheart, and it's a mostly predominantly white team. Let's keep it real. And then you got LSU. They play with their energy and their emotion. It's a predominantly black team. So I just think anytime those things happen, like people just naturally, like you can't ignore what you see. You can't ignore the skin tone. Now, again, us being in the locker room, we don't give a fuck because we just trying to go out there. We got the same goal. Let's go win this game. Let's go win the championship. Let's go whatever. So we don't care. But from a visual fan standpoint, you see what you see, and I do think those things get brought up. Now, to go back to your original actual point on this topic, I didn't care about, Caitlin gets the most coverage because she's the best player in the country. That's just white, black, orange, blue, green, whatever. She gets the most because she's the best. She's not carrying the sport by herself, but she's carrying the heaviest package or whatever, for the women's college basketball because she's the way she's playing. Angel Reese gets a ton of coverage. Flage gets a ton of coverage, but Caitlin's going to get the most because she's the best. She's earned the most. And I agree with Jay Earn
in the chat. This is the issue I have. First of all, it's not about LSU and Iowa. You don't ever hear about LSU and Iowa. You hear about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And the media has made this a black-white thing. No one else has given a shit, and no one else has brought it up ever. They bring up women's basketball on an all-time high. Caitlin Clark's the face of it. She's even has her own FanDuel segment to bet. Really? Caitlin Clark segment, which is unheard of, right? Listen, you push the narrative all you want with this Caitlin Clark thing. I don't really watch women's basketball other than if Ole Miss is playing, USC or UCLA if they're on in a tournament. I'll turn it on because I'm blessed to have enough TVs on in my house to do multiple things. I'll have it on. But like, I just got to be honest, like Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese narrative has been pushed by the media, and then it becomes a race thing. Jamil Hill, and former ESPN analyst, cover person, now has went straight to like go against everyone else, and now everyone else tries to go at her for doing it. Like, it's a back and forth media race thing between different people. It's like, dog, it's getting to be old. Like, goddamn, just let the motherfuckers play. I don't get it. What I do get is, though, like last year, Angel Reese did the whole deal. She talked that shit. Everyone thought they had beef. They came out before this game. We don't have no beef. It's all good love, right? That's just sports, right? Whatever. And no one bashed Caitlin Clark during this year on this run because she'd been talking big shit. No one said she was classless. No one said any of that.
Right.
But I want to break down Angel Reese last night. If she was not asked by a reporter what her and Caitlin talked about, she would not have paid that girl any homage, which I find alarming. She was asked what you had to say, and it was really quick. Her comments were really quick. I had to look them up before the show to make sure I didn't talk on my ass. Really, really quick comments after she was asked. But she, to me, I would have been like Mulkey was like, hey, they got us. Caitlin Clark's a generational talent in this generation of women, blah, blah, blah. She took it to us, 41 points, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, girl didn't say shit. She started her show, her presser off. It gives me the Shadur Sanders shit, dog. This generation, this kid is killing me with the fact that they're victims in everything. Like, Shadur came from the mud and I had to get what? And now this girl, Angel Reese, plays a victim as how bad her life has been all year long.
I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change.
Smitty, I got to ask you, first of all, if she was my daughter, number one, if she was my daughter, I would tell her to sleep in the bed that you made. And I want to tell her that in this IG model, this OnlyFans era, this IG social media creepy weirdos that are out there, don't fucking show off your body then as a basketball student athlete. Do it when you graduate, move on, go to the WNBA, then do it. You're grown. You look that different, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't really care that you do it, but let's be honest. You did it. There's going to be weirdos sexualizing you. You were out there with bathing suits on all off season after winning the Natty for NIL deals and otherwise. Now don't cry about it, though, dog. Like, this is own it up time. You're getting paid. You're a pay-to-play player. You're a big face in this. It happened after this. Happened after all that shit. It just, to me, it just was very, very selfish to not give the other girl her crown. She gave you hers last year when you beat her, Angel. Caitlin said, hey, LSU won. They beat us fair and square, blah, blah, blah. You don't hear any of that from this group. Like, that's what makes me pissed off in this era about competition. You don't really see but we're quick to exchange jerseys, though. Like that, it doesn't add up to me. I don't get it. But that's just me. It sounded very, very Shadur Sanders-like. Everything's against me, blah, blah, blah. Homegirl, you got a hell of a college life.
Well, it's hard to compare the two. I gotta counter that. I mean, I understood the Shador kind of slander with him because his dad's Dion. He grew up a lot differently. But like with Angel from Baltimore, Angel ain't got no like she ain't got no. We don't know who her daddy is or
hold on though,
mama is nothing like that.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna play the victim for her. Let me ask you though. You don't think Caitlin Clark has the same shit happening to her? Because she's literally had the same shit happen to her. See, that's what, and you and I are going to make it race, but let's be honest. Caitlin Clark has the same death threats. She's had the same fucking judgmental people like myself and everybody else talking shit about her too. So I'm trying to figure out why is she get a pass, she don't. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not saying nobody gets a pass.
I know you're not.
I'm saying that Angel Reese it's the end of the season. Our season just ended. She hasn't really spoke up. Really, she had a few comments, but she ain't never really like emotionally went to this level throughout the season. And I think it's because she's been trying to just stay locked in because they're still playing. Now the season's over. She's got to make a decision. She's gonna come back or go to the league. I think she's just kind of speaking on how she's been feeling throughout the season. The season's over now. It's not really a distraction at this point because their season's already over. And she's just being open and honest. Again, I don't know if that was her. You said that was her opening statement. Like there was no leading question to that. She just opened up with that. Cool. She just telling how she feels. Like I mean, I didn't when I listened to that. I didn't listen to that like, oh my God. She has been receiving a lot of backlash, and you can say that she put it on herself because she's competing on the court. But some of the stuff that she's been receiving and getting and called a dirty debutante and all this stuff. Let's be real. All those comments are she's the leader of that team. So when you say make all these comments, it's stemming from Angel Reese. Let's just keep it all the way funky.
I hear the same about Caitlin Clark.
And that's
talking about her.
I'm not seeing no art. I mean, pull it up. If you see an article that I'm just saying pull it up. I'm not saying
about this whole year.
I'm just saying
on Instagram, on social media.
No, I'm saying put up. Social media is gonna be social media, JB. People gonna say
that's what Angel Reese is talking about.
I'm talking about media. I'm talking about real people who get paid to journal, and it's been multiple articles and multiple like people coming to her from that standpoint. Caitlin hasn't been getting into that from real media, not social media. Everybody get everything. I mean, you and I get talked about on social media. I'm talking about real media, people who get paid.
Real media. Caitlin has been the top of the top.
Yeah, but she's been getting praise for the most part. Caitlin's been getting praise for the most part. Where Angel ain't, it's been like 50-50.
I've never seen Angel get bashed.
Either you love Angel or you hate her. I know a lot of people. I mean, I'm at Fox. I know people who don't. She talked too much. She ain't really like that.
But I'm saying I haven't seen the media come out on ESPN and bash Angel Reese. When did the media came out and bashed Angel Reese? We're only talking about social media here because that's where all the hate comes from. I haven't seen Angel Reese.
I'm talking about articles and stuff too. I'm not talking about just like full blown TV shows of just going in the whole time. I've seen this combination of social media, it's a combination of reading articles. It's a sprinkle a little bit of TV shows as well. People going at her. I'm not saying it's been 100% praise. Nothing is ever 100% or the opposite. So, but I'm saying when you think about percentages, Angel Reese, these people either love her or hate her. Where Caitlin, she's been receiving mostly love. I'm not saying that because it's because of race. I just think it's because of just their approach to the game. Caitlin talks trash, but it doesn't, like you just said a few minutes ago, for whatever reason, it doesn't get looked at. It's like being too much. It's like I don't know. Maybe she just does it differently. I don't know. But when Angel talk trash stuff, it's like she's being this, she's being that, she's being this, and that's how it's been received. So. Smitty,
when we signed up to play sports, we signed up to be fucking criticized.
Yes, but some people receive more criticism than others, though.
Let's be real. Yeah. That's just what it is. Like, there's always going to be your Allen Iversons at some point. There's always going to be your Rasheed Wallaces. There's always going to be your Draymond Greens. There's always going to be your guys like Dennis Rodman. We're always going to have somebody we talk about more than the other person, period. But let's just be honest. She's made this bet. She wanted this smoke. She did what she's done. Why now are we making it? Why are we defending something? And I don't care either way. So I'm impartial. I don't really care. I don't watch them like that. I don't know anything.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Though. Like I'm not even defending her. I'm just more so when I heard that opening statement, it didn't move me in any which direction. It's like, okay, she just telling us. She's telling us how she felt.
I took sore loser out of it. If you don't take sore loser out of that, I don't know. Like, why am I talking about my horrible off season when you made a lot of money. You swimsuit edition. You did swimsuit shoots. You did all these things that you did. Why now is that such a horrible life? I'm trying to figure that out. It's like talk that shit until it gets hit in your mouth. And then all of a sudden you want everyone to feel sorry for you. That's the generation of these cats. That's Shedeur Sanders. That's Angel Reese. Talk until something happens to you that isn't positive. And then I'm the victim. Everybody feels sorry for me. That's what the fuck these young cats do. I see it every day, Smitty. It ain't just these two girls we're talking about here or Shedeur Sanders. It's a whole generation of these cats. They have not been told no yet by anybody, parents, coaches, administrators. And when they finally are told no by either taking an L in the court or taking an L in life, that's telling them no. Oh, shit. Now I need somebody to feel sorry for me. Now my life was horrible this offseason. You don't even know. I took sexualization. Well, don't wear a fucking half-naked swimsuit, girl.
That's one thing she said out the whole list, JB. All right. Like, that's one thing out of her list. She didn't just say sexualization. That's not the one thing. That's the only thing she said.
I was hated. I had death threats. What do you mean? She listed a fucking laundry list of shit.
I know. I'm saying you keep leaning on just the sexualization. Okay, she put a bikini on. Okay, don't put a bikini on. Okay, I got you.
Put a bikini on. And I don't care about a bikini. All I'm saying is if it's my daughter and you wore a bikini and did a shoot.
They come with the territory. I get you.
You did a whole IG story about it and a whole thing. Then own it. Own it. You got money off it. Own it. Don't come out now talking about you're sexualized. No shit. You know the creepy ass people out here. I don't know.
I hear you, man. Shout out to Angel Reese. Shout out to the game, though. Are we gonna talk about the game at all, or not really? Because you didn't have a chance to watch it.
You can. I didn't really get to see it. I was in traffic.
I think it was. I mean, it's arguably been the best game of the tournament, men or women. The energy out there in the court was great from the opening get go. Keynan goes out there and knocks down her first shots to 3, and the crowd erupts, and it's just going back and forth from beginning to end. I mean, to drop 40-something, was it 41 points in a game, and to go to the Final Four against the team that beat you, took you out last year. Like,
12 assists, basically almost a quadruple double.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark. It's one of the best performances I've seen, just because of the moment too, and the team you're going against. Even though Iowa was favorites because they're the number 1 seed, but your eyes tell you LSU was a better top to bottom team than Iowa. So she really carried this team in her back, and her teammates stepped to the plate too and helped her out for sure. That's why they got the win. But Keynan just would stay so poised from beginning to end. And again, Angel Reese first quarter especially, was balling. She literally could not be stopped. She twisted her ankle, like something happened like in the second quarter. She kind of slowed down a little bit, but she even her 17 points, I think 23 rebounds. Big another double to add to her list. Flage dropped 23. Like this was just good basketball. It was physical. It was good coaching, good adjustments. And at the end of the day, Coach Kim Mulkey said this: Iowa had Caitlin Clark, and they didn't. And that was the difference. And I mean, I'm just shout out to those girls for putting on a great performance. And shout out to Caitlin Clark for being the best player in women's basketball at the college level, and one of the best players that we've ever seen at the college level. Hopefully she can finish this thing out. She's going against UConn and Jean and Paige Becker. That's going to be a battle. And I'm excited to see it, man. But shout out to girls basketball, man, for doing the damn thing. It's been a hell of a tournament.
Yeah, I don't watch women's basketball like that. I really not in tune to it. I don't really know too much of it. So I'm glad Smitty can help you guys with those information. But here's the thing that I want to dive into. I don't know if it's true or not. That's why I didn't lead the show off with. All at the Padres game, all that was going around was that LSU walked off the court during the national anthem, and Iowa stayed out there. So I've done some deep diving into it to make sure I don't know what was going on. Kim Mulkey said, because they weren't out there, I haven't seen them walk off. I don't know if anyone did see that. It would be pretty insensitive if they walked off during the national anthem, especially in the time what this country's going through. But that's a whole nother story. I want to hear Kim Mulkey, what she said when asked about it, though.
Honestly, I don't even know when the anthem was played. We kind of have a routine where we are on the floor, and then they come off at the 12-minute mark. That's when the anthem. I don't know, and we come in and we do our pregame stuff. I'm sorry. Listen, that's nothing intentionally done.
So look, I don't take Mulkey as that person that would allow that. Number one, I've been in the situation when the Kaepernick thing started, and I had a bunch of unruly kids that wanted to do dumb shit because someone else did it. So I had to check them and get that shit under control real quick. It's up to the leader of the group. I don't take Kim Mulkey as someone that would have done that. I don't know when it was. I don't know if they walked out, I'm sure. But what she just said is it's true. Like Smitty says, two things can be true. One could be our routine. She didn't know when it was, etc. Most coaches know when the national anthem is, though, because usually it happens while both teams are out there ready to tip off or kickoff or first pitch. That's how it usually works. So I don't know if I'm buying that part. Here's the part I do buy. You didn't know because you told your team to stay out of the way. So you didn't take any unruling criticism because maybe there's some kids that didn't want to be out there for it. I had to deal with that when it was real hot and heavy right in the beginning of this thing in 17 and 18 when this thing all started and there was a national problem. Mm-hmm. So instead of fighting it, we stood by the locker room. I made sure everybody stood, but at the time of the movement, okay, if you don't want to salute or whatever you want to do, just don't be rude and talk and shit like that. So we didn't go out on the field to do it. Let me say that. The basketball team did the same thing during basketball season. The coach just said, hey, we're going to stay in the locker room. So there ain't no people judging us. You have to, because you're forcing it at that time when we didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
You're forcing a problem to happen. So rather than do that, get the kids to buy in and stand up. And then if you're going to be the whole team, just stay out the way. Just don't go out there. If some of your team doesn't want to do it or whatever, it's going to be a big old fight. Just stay out the way. I believe she kind of wanted to stay out the way on this is my two things true statement. I think she said, fuck it, I don't even want to deal with it. But I don't believe she didn't know when the anthem was. I do know there's routines too, but I don't know if you were still warming up.
I had to look at her other game. Like, this is the only game this has happened. Do they usually stand? Did they stand last week or the last game or just the first? Like, it just, I don't know. I think we're not we, but I think people are like.
I'm just trying to figure out why is it still a thing though? Like,
I mean, I don't remember ever even hearing that. Like I think in college our actual routine. I'm trying to really think. I don't remember ever being on the field during the anthem. Doing our routine. I think I was always in the locker room. Like we were always in the midst of a routine. I never remember just being out on the field with my teammates with the anthem.
Yeah, I haven't seen the team walk off during the anthem. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
It would have been. I doubt it.
I haven't heard any. I haven't heard of that. I think you would have seen it by now if they just walked off.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't know if this is accurate, but Ryan in the chat says, Smitty, they've been in the locker room for 3 years. They never come out. Like, that's been what they did. So, like, maybe it's just a normal thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know idea. People, like I said, people take shit and they use it to make up something that's bigger than it is. Listen, if they did all that shit, there would be,
it'd be a way bigger story.
Stand 7 years after this whole shit off. Like anyone that don't stand for national anthem, I go back to the whole Brittany Griner thing. Go to another country. That's my only take.
JB,
you don't know if this happens.
I'm gonna let you go.
I mean, ask Brittany Griner, dog, how it went.
Yeah, but like, well, again, I know you hate this statement, but two things can be true. Just because America is the best country, don't mean we're not messed up though. At the same time. Like,
yeah, it's fine, but my point is, though,
I don't like that argument. It's like, well, deal with it, because if not, go to another country is worse. It's like,
well, she begged to get out. She begged to get out of a country like Russia.
Oh yeah, right? of course. That's not home. Of course. I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, what do you mean? You can't have it both ways, dog.
Yes, you can. What
do you mean you can have it both ways? So you can disrespect the country on one side and then go over there and get that shit hit in your mouth.
I mean, you take it like this. I don't want to get into this topic. This ain't that type of topic right now. But like,
yeah, but I'm just saying.
Again, like,
all I'm saying is
white folks and black folks look at the flag differently, and that's all I'm gonna say. We look at the flag differently. Me personally, it don't move me. If you sit down, stand there, it don't do nothing for me. Honestly, I stand up because I just stand up. Like,
here's the issue. I'm making a statement about whether LSU did it or not. My statement is, if you're in the country, then you just don't disrespect the country you're in, is my point. I didn't say, okay, everyone has their own thoughts on it. My thing is, like, don't blatantly put it in everyone's face for the people that do respect the country they live in. Brittany Griner is a perfect example because she cried over spilled milk. She went over there and found out it was a lot worse places than here. So she wanted back here, right? I mean, obviously. So, I mean,
I don't understand that, though.
The motherfucker for her. And she still couldn't say, you know what? Thanks. Like, I don't get that part. Like, good. Have your beliefs. And there may be some truth to some of the shit
It's
that
a
we
lot
do.
of truth. Ain't no maybe. It's a lot of truth. Like, but
don't slap it in the face. My opinion is, if you slap it in the face, then you should go find out how those other places are. You really think it's that bad? Go check out these other spots that don't really fuck with you at all. Like, there's little places out there too, homie.
Yeah, I guess you're just saying take the lesser of two evils, but like evil is still evil though. Like, so I
we
can
talk about this country all the time.
I can point out wrongdoing where I live at without having to move and go somewhere else. Like, I hate that argument, honestly. People say that all the time, you know, oh, you just leave there and go there. It's like, no, it's like, why can't we acknowledge that there's some messed up wrongdoings and things in this country and still try to work towards making where we actually live at better? Why do I gotta leave because I complained about something? That don't make sense.
That's fine and dandy and true. My thing is, like, why are we but don't slap it in the face. If you don't like it, then okay, make your point, say it, but don't just get out the way but don't like rub it in the face. Or that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have both things though. Like, you can't sit here and disrespect the place you're in that you say you rather be in over the other shitty place. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, yeah, agree to we have some fucked up shit in this place, but it's still better fucked up shit than Syria or wherever the fuck you're going to go. Like, I'm just saying, like, we got to be honest about this thing. Like, it's fucked up for a lot of different reasons. It's more than just a fucking national anthem, by the way. Like, I mean, it's not even the white man's land to begin with any fucking way. So I don't even want to start. I don't even go there. So, like, people don't even want to talk about that and have that conversation today. But I'm just saying, a lot of people that come out and say dumb, ignorant shit also understand we took that shit. We scalped the motherfucker or got scalped. Like, it go both ways. So I'm just saying, I just think we should, like, if I went to another country, which happens here all the time, people don't realize, people that leave here, go to another country and do dumb shit are very, very dumb.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And Brittany Griner was very fucking dumb for going over there doing shit you couldn't even do in California or Texas. You did it in Russia. Like, I think we do that more often than not, though. And that's, again, I think an entitlement that we've created in this country for being so, even though it may not be for the history, of course, of certain populations, as we all know. But for right now, this is still the freest place on earth. And I think, like, you can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna go over here and do this dumb shit. That's not a free country over there, people. Like, just throw that out there. Let's dive into football, Smitty. Enough politics. Chiefs, Rashee Rice cooperating with authorities, apparently, according to his lawyer. Now, this thing has come out. There's been some other things that came out since this. There's been some pictures of him at a bar prior to the wreck. And he's wearing the same shit that you see all the pictures in the black shirt. He's walking off the freeway. I don't know if you saw the video of a car, black Corvette, driving to the Super Bowl game or the actual playoffs, one of the playoff games. And a bunch of kids in his house, in his neighborhood,
cheering for him and stuff. Yeah,
cheering for Rice to leave. And it was the same car, and they got the same car. They'll go back on social media now. That's why my whole point about Angel Reese was, dog, there's gonna be receipts. They're gonna find your comment. They're gonna find your screenshot. They're gonna find your video. And apparently they found it's the same car. This is the same motherfucker on the board. They found videos like investigative fucking FBI agents.
Yeah,
they will
find
crazy. Your shit.
Social media is crazy. Yo, here you go, right here. I mean, but I mean, they know it's his car though. I knew it was him walking. I know what he looks like. I mean, like I thought we all knew that. So that's not really a shocker. For me, is the fact that he did walk off, and then they were looking for him, and they haven't.
So let me ask you this: I don't know if you know this, but is this true though? Somebody told me yesterday that he rented a Lamborghini for his homeboy to race him with. Is that real? Why did he lease the Lamborghini? So the only factual evidence that I've seen is that the lease of the Lambo is in his name. He leased it.
Right.
Now, a lease to me could be a lease to own, or you lease it for 2 years. A rental and a lease are two completely different things. I want to be clear. It's not a rental car, Lamborghini. If it's a lease, that means he's leased it for a couple years, and then he'll turn it in.
2 years, and then you switch your car out. Right.
Or you turn it in for the new model or whatever.
Yep.
When you do that to those cars, you cannot upgrade them.
It's a wrap.
You can't put sound in them. You can't put rims on it. All that shit has to be stock because you have to turn it back in. So I learned the hard way years ago. But anyway, why would you lease that car to race it though with your boy?
That's stupid. If that's the case, that's stupid. Like a lease car should be the safest car. Like you can't go over a certain amount of mileage. You can't get in an accident. That's supposed to be the one you kind of just chill in. I don't know. That's silly.
Hey, I'm in the process, not without giving any information. I'm in the process of suing a company right now.
Oh, shoot.
Something that has to do with football, by the way. And one of my lawyers is in Texas, Dallas, actually. She told me yesterday that this cat's in some issue, he's in some hot water. It's not just real cut and easy dried. It's not a cut and dried situation. Walking away from a crime which turned into a crime faces up to 10 years in prison, minimum up to 1 year, and then good time you could do 6 months to a year in prison. So I'm trying to find out. She was telling me, dog, that this cat may be in more trouble than people think, and especially that there was somebody harmed in harm's way on this thing. It wasn't like he wrecked into the wall and just walked off.
Right.
The girl, a 4-year-old minor, a kid, it's a hit and run at this point. And it's also attempted manslaughter is what they'll throw at their ass. And then they flee the scene.
That probably won't land, though, the attempted manslaughter. That probably won't land.
Well, it's not up to you like the kid that actually got in the wreck. The title is attempted manslaughter because there was a person involved.
That's just what it is. That's crazy.
If you and I got into a wreck because of our act, meaning you and I are speeding 100 plus miles an hour in the freeway and we hit cars, it's manslaughter, dog. It is manslaughter. It is a charge with a deadly weapon, basically, using our car.
Wow.
So, yeah, dog, that's a real thing. You saw Dante Stallworth at the farmer's market?
Oh, yeah. But he killed somebody, though, right?
Saw Lawrence Phillips?
But they actually killed people though, didn't they?
I think one of the old man ran over.
I think he killed somebody. That's a little different. But yeah, I mean, he put himself in this position. I think right now, they're probably trying to discuss him, and I think those are his family members. They're probably trying to figure out, like, hey, bro, are you gonna take this, or should I just take? Like, I bet you that's what's going on right now. They're trying to figure out what makes the most sense. And cousin probably like, I wasn't driving, cuz I love you, but I'm about to go to jail for you. And I bet you that's what's going on right now. This is me just guessing. I have no idea.
It couldn't be at a worse time because all I can see is bad happening. All I can see is bad things happening because of the fact that Andy Reid's kid just got out and he's going to be put on fucking house arrest or whatever. But you have the same organization that you work for, the Chiefs, head football coach's son, just did similar thing. And the kid that he injured, I think, is permanently has brain damage. This is not a good look, dog. And then Rice may be the victim of disorganization, leadership, having multiple incidents in the same sort of thing.
I see what you're saying. Like sometimes it's like the timing in which you did something. It's bad luck, whatever you want to call it. But now they want to prove a point and use you as the example because they're tired of the same thing happening. You know what I'm saying?
What do they say if they say the judge comes in and goes, "Hey, listen, your head coach's son has done this. Your head coach's son has another son passed away as well before with the Eagles. Your head coach, leader, mentor is either condoning, allowing, or what if some judge said that? Like, think about it. Like, this is the leader of your organization. He's already had the same exact issues. You went and did it. So now, are you being taught to do it? Of course, we know that's not true. Yeah. But I'm saying, what if a judge really fucked him like that and said, hey, your whole organization does this shit on it seems like a regular basis. You're fucked. Like, Rice is going to be not a victim because he did this shit. But
I don't think they will point out. I guess judges be saying some stuff. I feel like I don't think they will point at his football team if anything they point at familial history or his own history. I don't think they will point at Andy Reid. That's kind of if they did, that'd be crazy. Like, you gonna blame Andy Reid for a grown man decision?
I blame Andy Reid, but I'm saying you've had this same exact issue happen on your roster already during a fucking Super Bowl, going to the Super Bowl.
That happened before. Rasheed Rice was there too, so like I know. So these kids, like you always say, that they don't know everything that's going on. He might not even know about it, honestly. If I'm being real,
no, that's not my point. My point is just the organization has a history of this, and the judge knows this and sees it, and it's like, we have a video on Ray Rice, Ian Rappaport. Go ahead and show it.
The fact that Rasheed Rice is apparently, according to his attorney Royce West, cooperating with local authorities. A positive step. They had been trying to find him, trying to talk to him over the last couple of days. So this is a step in the right direction. Mark Donovan, the Chiefs president, spoke earlier today on KCMO radio saying that the team, this is the first real statement from the team on this matter, wanted to wait until they had all the facts. He did confirm there was a multi-car crash, and according to him, it doesn't appear anyone was hurt, which is another positive sign. Initial police reports had indicated that there were injuries to 4 people involved. 2 had been taken to the hospital. So according to Donovan, it doesn't seem that those were major. He said the team is still gathering facts. But you mentioned some of the nuts and bolts of this, at least according to local police on the scene. A couple days ago, there was apparently 2 cars involved in a high-speed situation, a Lamborghini and a Corvette. At least one of those was apparently registered to Rasheed Rice, who is local. He went to SMU. He is from the Dallas area. It seemed the cars crossed over the median, and there was a crash. As I mentioned, 2 people, it seemed, went to the hospital, and then there have been videos surfaced online that appears to show Rice and at least a couple other people involved leaving the scene. Plenty.
Smitty, this is a perfect example of what we started the show with media pushing narratives.
Yeah.
We need to stop saying he's cooperating. He's not cooperating.
He ain't got no choice.
He's been told to do this or you're fucked. You walked away from a scene. Usually, I think common folk would be arrested. You and I would be arrested. They would come to our house and pick us up.
We ain't got the luxuries of having multiple houses or having the money to get a top lawyer to buy us time. So that just comes with the territory. That just is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. His lawyers intervene, the team intervene. He doesn't have multiple houses either. He's on a rookie deal. He doesn't have millions yet.
Yeah, so, that's true.
So he doesn't have multiple anything. I think he bought a Corvette, which casual people could do. It's not a big deal. Corvette's American fast car. You can get those for rough, maybe under even $100,000 nowadays. And you can lease the Lambo with his name and credit score. I'm sure it's good with the money that he made. He made what, $400,000 or $500,000 last year a year. $400,000 or $500,000 a year is going to get you a fucking Lamborghini if you want to rent one. So like that's not out of this world. Plus, a lot of those things are done by agents and their credit scores.
Yeah.
To get
you pay them back or something, mate. Yeah.
Or they get it with their name and you put, cosign or whatever. That's how they start their credit off for a lot of these young cats, which is to me is the wrong thing to do. But that's a whole other discussion. I don't know. We'll be back in 5 minutes, Smitty. Let's talk about Vontae Davis. Great Colt. Bill passing away, unfortunately. No foul play assumed. And we're going to talk about NC State's DJ Burns, who Smitty likes so much, drawing NFL interest as an offensive tackle. I got an interesting take on that. Can't wait for Smitty's take. We'll be back in 5. Here, this is the infamous one of the palm trees at Ash 8.
Can't fucking believe you. See this fucking belt? You see it? Who just eats a whole fucking palm tree, man? You guys are fucking shitting me. Just fucking unearthed the motherfucker. Ate the whole fucking thing. Like, who eats a whole fucking palm tree? Like, you fucking shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me? Now, let's check now. Who did it? I'm gonna look at the fucking camera. Who fucking did it? Sit down.
Sit down. Sit. Sit down. Now, do we understand each other? Excuse me. There is no more fucking up palm trees. I'm tired of spending all this money, and now I've created a whole fucking barricade for you. So I don't want to have to dig this bitch out. I'm fucking dead. I'm old. My back hurts. I'm fucking stiff as a porn dick. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Boy, if you don't sit your ass down. Now, you come over here with me. Come on. Here's what I had to do to fucking stop you. And I got a better, beautiful, bigger tree. So now we are shitting in tall grass. Replanted it, bitch. Soiled it up. Put a little trellis in here. Put a bunch of fucking stones. Look like Stonehenge around this bitch. And now, Ash, are you gonna fucking try to dig this bitch out? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do this again? So I had to. Ash, remember this? Remember you ate this? Did you do this? He ate once. I put this little moat around it. And just a sitting area. Come over here. We got the flat stick basketball court and driving range. So if I ever want to pull out the big dog, that's our net. All we do is just slap down our driving range, you know. Bam, swing away. And that's where we swing into the net. Jimmy crack corn on this hoop. And here's my RV parking where I park the whips. Let's take you out and show you a few. Out these double gates, I'll show you a few cars. Come on out. So right here, of course, is the bad boy. The last year they made this Cadillac EXT, one of a kind. Can't find these anywhere. And then you come out here, you got the 650i, BMW, rag top, 500 to the rear, white interior. You know, you can't beat it. This is my baby though, my truck. Full sound, custom sound system in both. Top notch, only as I do. And obviously, this is my crib. Oops. All right, that's JB's cribs. Appreciate you jumping by, coming by. Listen, it's time to go. Now take your asses and get the hell out of here. I'm about to go cook some slapstick tri-tip. It's been a pleasure. Now go home. Peace. Get to look down on the property. That'll do it. Real close JB's cribs. Peace. We are back in the building. Pound the like button, subscribe, become a member. I want to say, like, this show is different than most because Smitty give his perspective on his takes. I'll give you mine. And we have a real grown-up conversation, disagree or agree. A lot of folks won't do it. They won't even bring up the topic. So we could choose to stay away from certain topics, but we do shit that most shows won't do. So you'll get both perspectives. And I think everyone is right, has a right to an opinion and their take. And I think we lost the fact that people stopped respecting people's opinions in this country. And I think it's become something that's spiraling out of control. Nowadays, you're the enemy. You're the enemy right out the gate if you disagree with someone's fucking take. We do bring up real shit, and I'm not going to dive into this deep, but I see the comments going crazy over police and cops. I got cop friends, police friends, and there's an all-time low. They're at all-time low finding cops to become cops, and they're trying to get a lot of cops are getting out of the profession. I heard a lot of people in here saying, I agree, cops suck. They suck until you need them. They suck until you need them to come help you at the house. That's the crazy part about it. Like, we have fucked up humans. So cops are shitty to you, but politicians and priests that fucking molest kids are okay. Like, you guys kill me on the one-sided thing. Bring up some real shit, bring it up, and bring up all the shit. Don't just talk about one part of the fucking the public servants police force. Like, come on, man. You guys are killing me. Y'all want to get rid of the cops until you need the motherfuckers. I'll be real. We got crooked everybody. We've got crooked everybody, by the way. So don't just call out the cops because you're going to need the motherfuckers one day. It's crazy. We always talk about, Smitty, how good the sausage tastes, but we don't want to talk about how it's made. Go put a cop uniform on and go out in the streets then and see how easy it is. Like, I'm trying to figure. I don't want to be a cop, Smitty.
I don't be no cop either. I got a few teammates who are cops, friends who are cops in different levels, different cities.
They will all tell you one common thing: it is not easy because of all the shit that's going on. I got to cater to this. I try not to be too biased to this. I try not to do this. Now I'm hearing they can't do anything to anyone, and they can't even hold the person anymore, especially in California and New York, the two most populous states. Can't even hold you for doing a crime unless it's like some crazy shit. They're being told to let them go.
Really?
It's a fucked up world we have right now. This right here, I just want to break some news. This happened
Wednesday when police got a call about a man with a gun just footsteps away from a school across the street. When they arrived, they chased 24-year-old Hector de Sosa Villalta, believed to be from Venezuela, into the basement of the home here at 3259 Hull Avenue. Well, that's where cops arrested him along with 7 others. Another man, 22-year-old Javier Alborno, tried to get away from the apartment with another weapon before he was also arrested. Now, when a search warrant was in place, investigators recovered 2 more loaded guns, 3 loaded extended magazines, and a box of ammunition with a bag of ketamine mixed with cocaine. Now, De Sousa Villalta and 8 others were charged with criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of controlled substance, and acting in a manner injurious to a child. All but 2 were released without bail. Now, De Sousa Villalta was arrested with attempted murder for shooting someone else in the leg. Now, this was all from another dispute that happened over in Yonkers. As for these other suspects, they are also being investigated in terms of another robbery pattern that they're seeing in Bergen County. Well,
wow.
Illegals. And I'm reading the story. Apparently, there was a 7-year-old kid in the basement.
Yeah, that's what I read there at the bottom. They found a 7-year-old kid just there. I don't know if they had him kidnapped or
school, Smitty, a school in America.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it's no laughing matter. This shit is real, by the way. I don't know if you guys realize, like, it's always like, you're not affected till it hits you. It's hitting us. Big Smitty went and took the test. Like, it's hitting him too. It's hitting us. Like, it's coming. Something's coming. I don't know what, because it's an election year. And election years have some crazy shit that ends up happening. I don't know what. I'm not a conspiracy theorist in that regard politically, but something's going to happen. I'm just telling y'all, be ready, because it's happening in our cities every day. Something weird is going on, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know the agenda, but some shit is cracking here, and I don't understand it. But in sadder news, Vontae Davis found dead. No foul play assumed. I don't know if anything's come out, Smitty, about this. I haven't heard anything.
Nah, no specific detail. I've heard rumors, but I'm gonna keep it to myself because they're rumors. But it's sad. It's just sad to see a 35? You said 35 years old. See somebody that young pass away. Obviously as a Colts fan, he had some really good years with us. It was a really good. He might have been I'm pretty sure he was a Pro Bowler at least 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, whether he was or not, he was a really good player. And from the stories I've heard from people who actually played with him, say he was just a good dude, funny guy. You know what I'm saying? Always had that big smile on his face. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of the how, I'm more so worried about the what. And we just been seeing a lot of young cats, I feel like, over the last few years pass away for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad to see. So, T's and P's, thoughts and prayers up for his family, his loved one, obviously his brother, Vernon Davis. It's his brother, tight end, really good tight end, played for the Niners for a long time. So I can't imagine how he's feeling, losing a brother like that. So it's just a sad story. You just hate to see it, man.
Yeah. Shitty deal. In the news, I want to dive into this.
You got one of them text messages right there.
Yeah. Let me see. What time is it?
Might be so it's either some money or a surprise guest or somebody got to jump on early. Something's up. It's one of those. I hope it's some money. Everybody like, Big Smitty always talking about the money. Yeah. You know what I've learned, man? Everybody want to my whole life, because I grew up poor, money has been taught as this just bad thing. And I don't know, it's like a reverse psychology where they want you to feel better because you're broke. So they make it seem like money's not that important. But I don't care what nobody say on this earth. Money is very extremely important. It's top. I'm not saying it's the number one thing, but it's probably top 3. And it ain't number 3. And I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I don't know what the afterlife's gonna be, but here on this earth, money is important. I'm sorry, they lied to y'all. They lied to us.
You can't help anybody if you don't have money. I don't give a fuck what everyone wants to talk about. You cannot help anybody if you have no money. Everybody talks about, you got to have money to fucking help people. I don't give a fuck.
You got to.
Last night, Powerball was $1.1 billion. Nobody won. So I'll be buying 1,000 tickets tonight. All right, so let's. I just need it one time, Smitty. I need to hit it one time, but I know I'm never gonna hit it.
Do you ever choose your own number, or do you always just
I play my own card, and then I pick quick picks, and I go to the worst, nastiest hood ass liquor store, because that's who wins. I guess that's what I've been told. I don't know. I think we're being played like a motherfucker.
I've been hoping that one day I'll go to sleep at night and I'll have a dream of the right numbers to pick, and I'll just wake up and do it. That's the only way I think I would really go in and do it for real.
Twitter's popping. We almost got 2,000 people over there. We almost got 1,000 over here.
Oh, we got 3,000 right now. I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Yeah.
It must be that Caitlin Clark opening idea for us. The best player in college basketball.
Cisco said, would you rather be a millionaire or do you rather be a millionaire? Smitty, this is Mexican people shit right here, Cisco. Do you rather be a millionaire rather than have a healthy family?
Come on now, Cisco. That's a rhetorical question. Of course not. So that's why I say it's not the number one thing. Of course, health, love, those things. But I'm gonna be real with you, man.
Oh, you asking me or you? Because I want the money.
I already got that, Cisco. I already got love. I'm already a married man. I already got that.
I want the money. Fuck all that other
that's
shit.
That's obvious stuff, Cisco. But you need
I want to go to the
bro.
Warrior game and fucking splurge. Fuck all that family shit.
I want to have fun with my family, though. That's my main thing. I've always had a dream of flying my whole family out here or on a family trip or something. I never went on trips, Cisco. We ain't had no money. The only trip we did, we would drive to Kentucky from Indiana because we got family there. We never went on family trip. We never. It's not a distance. I love my family to death. Like we're close. It's just that we didn't have the money. The first time I ever got on a plane ride was at Ball State. Second game my freshman career against Clemson. My first time catching a plane. So like I grew up broke my whole life. I'm telling y'all, for y'all who didn't grow up poor, it ain't it. Now you learn a lot. It built me for who I am. Makes me appreciate stuff. But like, bro, I want that money, bro. I want it young.
Mexican people talk. So brothers talking a whole nother dialect. Mexican people talking a whole nother dialect. I grew up with both, so we would always we always used to play on each other. Like growing up, homies. I got to be the pallbearer for one of my homeboys this Friday. So the show may not happen this Friday, FYI, because I got to get out early to Compton to be the pallbearer, and I got to get there by 9, and I don't know if I can get out of here in time.
I say right now, we just cancel it right now today. Make it a real thing. We'll post some clips because I got something to do that morning anyway too. I got to go see the spot.
Yeah, we apologize. No Friday show. I got to go be a pallbearer for one of my best friends. Here's the thing. Mexican people should have a different dialect than brothers, and then white folks have. So white folks, they got, what up, dude? It's gnarly, fucking bummer. Yeah, that's white boy shit. Brothers is like, you don't, it's just certain things. It's fuck.
Man, stop playing, man. No cap, man. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? It's just like
brother.
Little stuff.
That's the new brother. The OG brother.
You from the West Coast, so y'all talk a little different.
Yeah, we got
because coast matters too.
But Mexicans is very unique to everything.
How they talk? Do it real quick.
Mexicans, every single thing is a question.
Give me an example, please. Because you grew a lot, man. I had a couple of Mexicans. Indiana, we got decent amount of Mexicans, but we're not heavy like y'all.
Here's a perfect example. I used to, back in the day, we'd go over to homie's house, young kid, 11, 12, spend the night at certain people's house. We'd spend the night, play fucking whatever, play hide and go seek all night. We'd fucking be in the hood, running around the neighborhood, female, hide and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
But before the actual night over, the homies had to ask their mom if they could spend the night.
Okay.
Now, if a brother or a white boy asked their parents, go ahead, Smitty. How would you ask your parents if you want to spend the night at your friend's house?
Hey, mama, quick question for you, man. So Junior's having a sleepover, and I was just wondering if I'll be able to, stay the night. I make sure I do my homework and everything, man. I just want to make sure, you know what I mean? Is that cool or?
Okay.
It's like regular, like you kind of nervous a little bit because your mama, black mama might tell you no, you gotta cover all the bases. You got, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a little different.
Here's a Mexican. Hey, fool, I'm gonna tell my mom if I can spend the night. What the fuck you mean I'm gonna tell my mom if I can spend the night? Motherfucker, man. Hey, fool, I'm gonna tell my mom if I can spend the night.
It's like a statement in a question. It was like
it's both.
I'm gonna tell them, but I'm asking her too.
Hey, I told my mom if I could spend the night. What do you mean you told your mom if you could spend the night, motherfucker? What are you talking about?
You gonna get me evicted, JB? Oh my god! I told you if I could.
Hey, I told my mom if I could spend the night. She said it's not cool. I say.
They gonna cancel us. We talk about the whites, the blacks, the Mexican, Asians. Be getting that work sometimes on this show.
Hey, fool, tell your mom if you could spend the night. That's coming from the other person. It's all the same shit. Hey, fool, tell your mom if you could spend the night. I already told my mom if I could spend the night. Oh, orderly.
How do white people ask if they can spend the night? Like they talk to their homeboy.
Mother, here's your tea. Can I spend the night at Johnny's house with Karen and Sarah? We're going to play Monopoly with real money.
Right. Black people like, now you ask your mama.
I got real money in Monopoly in that house.
Right.
Would you like any money, son, for Monopoly? Yes. $1,000 would work and it'd be efficient.
Black people, look, you ask your mama, she gonna ask you 1,000 questions.
Here's the white people enabled. Here's how white fucking enabled people.
How you do it?
Son, no, you cannot go tonight. We have an early morning tomorrow. We got to go hiking, and we got to go get the fam. Oh, we're going to go to Johnny's house? I hate my cousins. There's 38 of them, and I don't want to see them tonight. Son, you don't always get your way. Well, fuck you, Dad. Fuck that. Bullshit. I ain't going to do that shit. This motherfucker go upstairs, do 6 lines of coke, jump out his window, kill himself. That's white folks shit.
Black people will look. You ask your mama, and they gonna Dante house. I ain't met Dante mama. Who Dante mama? Nah, I don't know her. I don't know her like that. The boy, no, you don't. If you stay, do you got church clothes? Because I'm not picking you up in the morning. They gotta drop you off. Okay, mama, I'm good. I got clothes. Like it's an argument with the black people. It's like it's a whole
thing. But here's the cold part. Here's how you get it though. Cause I grew up in a black folks' house, by the way. A black sister raised me. All right, you want to go to the store for me and get this
loaf of bread.
You give me $1 though.
Yeah.
I go, this ain't enough. Make it
enough.
You want to go to Dante's house? See, mother, black people should have put a whole case on you.
They gonna hustle you.
Case if you want to go to Dante's house.
You got to steal and rob to go to Dante's house.
This ain't enough. Make it enough. You want milk, a bottle of yak, and eggs?
Hey, back in the days though, you didn't get there for about $2.
You ain't getting all that. Parmesan. So you go get the Parmesan. You get Parmesan.
Yeah.
About $4 for a little bottle of Parmesan back in the day at the corner store. Yeah. Hey, Mo, Atlantic Drive liquor store right there. You get a Parmesan for about $4, $4.99. I would say $4.99. The old school sticker $4.99 tag, and then loaf of bread. Back in the day, you give them 99 cents, and then the shitty Wonder Bread, and then eggs, probably about $1.99.
Yeah, you probably only need a hot 10, really, hot 8 to get all that done, but not $1 though.
But I got $1, Smitty. I gotta come up with $8 more.
You gotta flip that.
I ain't going to Dante out.
You gotta play dice, win that. You gotta like figure out a way to stretch that a little bit. And TJ, you right too. Everything got to be clean. Like black people, like I'm doing everything perfect before I ask. Like room clean, homework, anything that I know my mama gonna ask me about, like, did you do your homework? Did you clean? It's already done. So you ain't got nothing even to come at me with. You know what I'm saying? And in worst case scenario, I would have my friend ask my mama, because for some reason that would work a little bit better. I don't know why. It's something about like having your homeboy ask that. It wouldn't always work, but it would help a little bit more though.
NC State's DJ Burns joined NFL interest as an O tackle. Could he make the transition from college basketball to the NFL? I don't know his background. I don't know if he played or not. There has been people like Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, but Tony Gonzalez was a football player. Let's be clear. That's somebody that I grew up with. His older brother, Chris, was my tight end in JUCO. Tony is a football player. Let's be clear there. Jimmy Graham was a football player. Antonio Gates never played. He was a basketball player that got a shot, I believe, where Akron or where the hell, whatever it was. He played basketball. Here's the thing. I don't know if this kid, DJ Burns, has played football or not. I have no idea. I think it's more Kent State. Sorry. I think it's more of a story because you could have all the body, we've seen the LeBron James and all these different things. You got to have the mental mindset to go out and just fucking play football for the first time, and especially in the NFL. Right. A different ball game, especially at O-line. First of all, he does not have an offensive tackle's body. Being a personnel guy, I don't see him as a tackle. I see him as a guard. We'll ask Tank Johnson in the second hour what he thinks, but I don't see him as an offensive tackle. But if he's 6'9", well, how big is he? You know,
I think about 6'7". 6'8", I think.
I mean, it's tackle frame, but he's got a very unique shape. Lower body.
And stuff. Yeah.
His lower body is more of he's thick around the waistline, which is not good for a tackle. He's more geared for a guard. 6'7", A+ footwork. But you don't know what A+ footwork is as an offensive lineman. It's a whole nother step. Like, these are 6-inch steps as you move people. This is a whole nother ball game. I'm not so quick to jump on it that he could play. Why these narratives get thrown out there so loosely, I have no idea.
I think they're just saying he has the like ingredients. It's kind of like, all right, if you go to somebody's house and they have, the black pepper, the garlic powder, the onion powder, they got the meats, the raw meat sitting there on the table. Like, okay, you have everything you need to make to make some real good fire chicken, but that don't mean that you a chef. That don't mean you can cook. You can put JB in the kitchen with some ingredients and put the same ingredients in there with another dude and to be two totally different meals. Because just because you got the ingredients, you got the size, the lesson, all that, don't make you a football player, man. You got to play football to know football. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this as devil advocate. Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Does he fit in this NBA landscape? Does that kid translate to go play right now in the NBA? I don't see another center in the NBA or a forward his makeup right now in the NBA. Do you? He's not. Let's be honest. Zion is losing weight. He's not Zion. Zion's much more gifted as a fucking free runner jumper. We already know Zion's much better athlete for basketball. Does this kid fit the narrative? If I'm his agent or if you're his agent, are you maybe pushing the football narrative as this may be our go-to? You're not a three-point shooter. You're not a perimeter big. That's what the NBA has become. I am actually worried about this Zach Edey kid. I don't see a place for him in the NBA. I don't see him being in the NBA. Yes, he's tall, but he's not Wembanyama as far as handling the ball at the top of the key. He's not 190 pounds. He's a huge human being that can't really move. And in the NBA, nothing is going through the paint anymore as it once did. This isn't Mark Eaton and fucking Shaun Bradley days. This guy's a 7-5 goof that's sitting down there in the paint dominating college boys. Like Jeff Nadu said, Purdue has Zach Edey. No one else does. In the NBA, they're going to force you're going to be a liability. I want to know if Zach Edey translates to the NBA and what's his future. Like, that's why maybe if I'm a smart agent, I'm telling this kid, hey, we got to make you maybe have an NFL 15-year career at offensive line. Like, I'm just asking that question. Wonder if that's something that a smart agent is thinking about. Because I don't know if the NBA is suited for these cats no more, these big body, lumber body cats.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something. I think you got to consider all things, but I think you have to just see what the market is talking about on the basketball side. As an agent, you got to go out there and hustle. You got to see, like, okay, how serious is it to that you'll have a realistic chance? Because again, I think that these guys aren't maxed out in terms of their skill set. I think you can learn more. I think I seen DJ Burns when old picture when he first started playing college ball. He was like slim actually, so he has the ability to slim up, tone up a little bit, move around a little bit better, and develop more of a different skill set. And I also say this, man, I think everything's full circle, and I kind of feel like basketball. I mean, it's still a 3-point shot lead. We know that, but I just think we're starting to slowly see the big man starting to kind of play a bigger role. Now I get it. These big men now can dribble, shoot, pass, they can do everything. So you do have to develop more of a skill set. But I do see the league not being as afraid to like play through their big man in things like that nature. So we'll see, man. I mean, I think you got to consider all things though. But I'm a firm believer, man. You got to play the sport to know the sport, man. Football, people think you just got to be a good athlete and go out there and just play. And it's like, I think it's kind of disrespectful to the greats and the guys like us who actually did it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much work that goes into it, so much stuff you got to learn, the mental side, the physicality side. And to say a basketball player can just up and say, okay, I'll just play football, it kind of belittles it as if it's just an easy sport that anybody can do. That's why I get upset when people say, oh, these NBA guys would have been a all-pro Hall of Fame wide receiver. I'm like, listen, bro, maybe, I don't know, but like for y'all to just assume that because they're athletic and they're tall, that's not, come on, bro. I know a lot of people who look like Tarzan, play like Jane. They go out there, they're an athlete on the basketball court, but on the football field, they're not coordinated. I've seen it all the time. I've had guys actually come out there and play. It's like, nah, this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Let's since you're so fucking legit all of a sudden, and you never tell anybody, how about you introduce our next guest, the great Korean Cosell.
The Korean Cosell, man, one of the smartest men on the planet, man. A guy who's not scared, not afraid to share his honest and truthful opinion, whether you agree or not. He's going to give it to you. He's a boxing savant. The man can talk about sports, food, culture, politics, and everything in between. The Miami U fan and legend, the one, the only, Steve Kim. Give it up for Steve.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What up, Steve?
Rollies.
Can a basketball player that never played football go right over and play football? I know Antonio Gates has done it. Kent State basketball player gets a shot in the NFL. Played tight end, though. Different body. You can be an athlete, run vertically. If you can catch the football, you're a Hall of Famer. That's what ended up happening with him. This kid for NC State, bigger wobble body kid. They're saying he's an O lineman already. I'm like, I don't know if he's played. I do not know that. I can't go out on a limb and say he played football in high school or whatever. If he hasn't, though, I'm fighting it. There's just no way. Footwork is totally different at O-line than it is in basketball, and he's not an offensive tackle body type. He's a guard, 6'7". I don't know how big he is size-wise, but
6'9", 275. DJ Burns said he played football growing up, but stopped after he got his first basketball scholarship offer as an 8th grader. He was a tight end and defensive end during his football playing days.
Interesting, Steve.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of guards that are 6'7", though. When you're above 6'6", you're going to be kicked outside. That's going to be tough. Can he handle the physicality? I still remember in the 80s when there was like 12 rounds of the NFL draft. When it got to like round 10, teams would start drafting guys like Carl Lewis. And, they would do it was kind of funny. It was a little bit of a publicity stunt, but they would even ask, like Ronaldo Nehemiah was a great track guy, world-class hurdler. He actually had a short career with the Niners, great speed. He made a play here and there, but couple of things. Number one, the understanding of football at that level. It's a much more complex game than I think people realize. And then also the violence and the physicality. He actually got knocked out on the field one time. He ran a crossing route where he should have sat down in the zone in Atlanta. And this cornerback, his name, I think it was Bobby Johnson. I mean, literally blasted him, as Mike Tyson would say, into Bolivian. And he fumbled the ball. They ran it back. I don't think he ever had the stomach to really play football ever again or wanted to, or he got a dose of reality. As Smitty said, football is a mentality. It's not just a physicality. It's a mentality. You got to be a bit of a savage.
The average guard height in the NFL is 6'5". The average tackle height is 6'7" in the NFL. 6'6" and 3/4. NFL guys are different. I'm just telling you up front wise, our guards with the Chiefs back in the day were both 6'7". I know all the normal people in the chat know more than me, but offensive guards, you get two centers, you want 6'3". You know what I mean? You want a smaller guy that can move. Same with guard. Guards are your heavy bodies. They're trying to double team on Smitty to work to the linebacker depth. Tackles, you want fleet-footed, thin in the waist, small calves, long arms. I looked at this kid. I don't see long arms, just as a personnel guy. I do not see long arms, contrary to everybody in the chat's fucking belief, since you know so fucking much about personnel in the NFL. I guess you have 30 players playing. Anyway, he has no long arms, and he has a very, very – his core is not a tackle's core. You have to be able to bend, kick, and slide. I do not see that. He has a guard body right now. Right now, though. Now, if he does something, maybe, I don't know. But if I were somebody, though, Steve, I would look at him on the defensive side of the ball for the simple fact that you don't have to teach as much. Go see ball, hit ball. Let's really see if you are that athlete.
Yeah, and a guy like him, he'd have to be willing, most likely. Look, do I see him making a 53-man roster off the bat in that league? No. He'd probably have to go practice squad, maybe play in one of these spring leagues, and really work at the craft of knowing how to punch, set, kick, and then being able to absorb contact. Football is not for everybody, no matter what they've done to the game. In terms of making it less violent, I've said this before and I'll say it again. it still takes a special kind of human being to play this game at that level.
Especially in the trenches. The trenches hasn't changed as much as the other positions out on the field. So,
Steve, once he gets hit in the fucking face, he might just say, "This is not for me." It's like a boxer that thinks he can go box and whatever these guys, the cowboy, what's the guys if the cowboy just got his ass whooped every time.
Oh, and Too Tall Jones. Yeah.
No,
well, there have been others. He's the most famous, but
no, the Hardy.
Oh, Greg Hardy. Yeah,
Greg, he's actually won a few of them in MMA, but he lost a lot of them too.
Yeah,
the face, like, oh fuck, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I got to ask you. There's a sleeper in the draft. A buddy of mine's kid, obviously, family friend. I've had I've had several of them coach with me. I think he's a sleeper. I've talked to 2 people in the NFL that says he is a guy that can go very, very high right after the QBs. You, I believe, are a fan of this guy. I don't know if there's another D lineman in this draft that possesses the burst, the get off, the swivel in the hips that Latu at UCLA possesses.
Yeah.
I think this guy is a sleeper. I think he is a big-time get. You see his burst. You see what he can do against the Caleb Williams. He is very, very his first and second step reminds me of Jermaine Johnson, who went first round. Very similar. It's going to be interesting. Where are you at with this guy? Do you like him?
Yeah, Latu, I talked about him a little bit this past season. I thought he was the best edge player UCLA had since Jameer Miller. I actually like the UCLA front seven, the Murphy brothers. When you look at Latu, you look length. He plays well off the edge. He's got a good first step. And I thought there were several games this year, Colorado, USC, where he dominated outside. He'd be a top 10 pick in my draft board if I had one. Because look, you got to have a quarterback, then you got to have a guy that can rush the quarterback on the back end. If Latu played in the SEC, you'd hear about him a lot more. Unfortunately, he goes to a school that doesn't put much emphasis on football, kind of got overshadowed here on the West Coast. But Latu will be gone, I think, relatively quick come draft day.
Yeah. Again, we have a Twitter guru in the chat that said he's little below the waist. Guess what? Defensive ends. Show me a defensive end that has a fucking big fat body on the bottom, please. God. Steve, I got to ask you, I'm going to dive into this. I want to dive into a few things real quick. I went to the Padre game last night. I didn't have the opportunity to see the women's basketball game, but I went to the Padres game. You can't go to a baseball game no more, Steve, unless you spend $1,000, and the game lasts literally less than it takes you to get in and out of the parking lot. It's a joke. The game is so fast, Steve, now. By the time you go get a hot dog and come back, it's 4th inning. And I'm like, what the hell happened? The pitching is just rapid fire, and it's like the money you spend, I don't know if it's worth it. I do got great tickets from Keynan Middleton, of course, being on the show, and he's hooked me up twice now. Dodger Stadium, Padres last night. I took Jerry. Cool little venue. If you haven't been down to Petco Park, obviously, it's a great spot downtown San Diego. Great weather. Fuck, it was beautiful. But I don't know if I could take a family of 4 just to go to a game, spend $1,000 to watch an hour and 50-minute sporting event. There's no way.
I thought it was 2 hours. Look, that's BPS. At the time, keep changing every time.
You know, the problem was before they sped up the pace, the games would be 4 hours.
Right.
I mean, so was it too much of a good thing? You know, personally, would I go to a ball game? No. I mean, the last time I was invited to a ball game, Mario invited me. He had a suite that he rented out one day at Dodger Stadium. I've done it before. But I told him it was the truth. I said, no, Hard Knocks is on. And it was the Dan Campbell season, so I wasn't going to miss it. So that's what I think of baseball. And I played it basically my whole young adult life, all throughout childhood. But look, Dodger Stadium and most stadiums now, especially the newer ones, Dodger Stadium isn't, but they've renovated. Look, someone's got to pay for all that. So nothing is cheap. There used to be a time at Dodger Stadium where you can get box seats for less than $5, or bleacher seats, at least in the pavilion. Dodger dogs, Kula Koos, and with whatever soda was relatively cheap. It really isn't anymore. A lot of this has been corporatized. Yankee Stadium, I've read stories and seen videos on how expensive that is. Basically, now it's like a day at Disneyland to a certain degree. Maybe the lines are a little bit shorter for Space Mountain, but I don't really go to that many sporting events. I'll cover boxing as a member of the media, and I'll go to 1 or 2 Miami Hurricane games and whatever football game I kind of feel like going to at that time. But yeah, you're right, Jason. Like, would I go to a regular baseball game in the middle of June, July, August if I had other things to do? No, I wouldn't. And I think it goes beyond the cost, to be honest with you. It's just, look, the game is a game, and I didn't know baseball games were that quick anymore, to be honest with you. That's kind of stunning to hear. 2 hours?
I guess it was 2.5 hours, but when you park it,
now you went back up.
Yeah, look, it's a 2. I heard it was 2:43. That's a normal game, JB.
Yeah,
JB wanted to be here for 5 hours.
That ain't a normal game.
I think the problem with JB, you had a long drive. The traffic was bad. You got food.
That's what I mean.
When you put the whole thing into it, but most people ain't traveling from LA though. That's the thing.
The problem is, back in the day when it was 4 hours, the game wasn't 4 hours. It was all the shit. So you had the 7-inning stretch. You could have, there was some performance. There was you could drink and chill. Nowadays, you're in there to fucking watch that game and get out, because you ain't gonna be able to hang out or do nothing. There ain't no 7-inning stretch. There's no way. Like, it's fucking up, boom, strike, out, get up, next man. Like, fucking inning goes by like this. I was like
that. I ain't gonna lie. I like that as a fan.
Steve, there's a lot of Korean. There's a big, huge Korean following in San Diego now, because they have a guy that's really like the Ohtani of the Dodgers on the Padres, and they were just like going crazy every time he got up. He got up, and they go crazy. Jerry, what's his name? I guess he's a big thing. He's not Ohtani level, but I guess he's a big thing. A lot of Korean. There's another one for the Giants, who they gave a beer bath to the other night when they beat the Padres. 2 Korean. Yeah. Ha Sung Kim. I guess he's the next big thing. He was pretty good. I saw him last night in person. I mean, it was a blur. But
good luck to him. I won't be paying attention. Miami's in spring practice. Right. That's what I care about right now, guys. That's it. We got to find a cornerback and some safety depth. That's what I care about. Cam Ward looking good.
He's looking good so far.
I think Cam Ward's going to be a top 10 college quarterback. Yeah, and look, I've said this. I know sports. I just don't care about them nearly as much as I used to, or the way I did. The thing with baseball is there's 162 games. It is a grind. I think it's a very difficult sport to play. But, do I really care? No. We all have our priorities in life. Baseball is not one of them, at least not anymore.
Well, I know one of your priorities is boxing, and I believe you were at the event, and your boy Rolly, not your boy, but somebody's boy.
I gotta know the Rolly.
He got beat up.
I gotta know the De La Hoya's beef, Smitty. I gotta know the De La Hoya Rolly what's going on with that first.
Well, Rolly, or as De La Hoya calls it, Rollies, which is kind of funny. Not Rolando or Rolly, but Rollies. That's like his thing. Well, here's the thing. Friday night, I was in Arizona for the Top Rank show with Oscar Valdez. And then Saturday, I went back home, and I went to the YouTube theater for the Gilberto Ramirez fight. He looked really good winning his cruiserweight title. The pay-per-view show in Vegas I didn't go to. It was a very good show top to bottom. Yes, but old Rollies got absolutely mauled by Isak Cruz, which didn't surprise me. I'm going to quote something that I said a couple years ago about Rollies Romero. He's just awful. He's not really good. He's really
bad.
He's really bad. Technically, he's a mess. He's got 2 left feet. And the reason why I thought that was the most interesting part of that whole card, even more than the main event, is that he is way too talkative and obnoxious for the skill level.
Yeah.
Really. And I look, say what you want about Isak Cruz, the pit bull, but he's a serious fighter. He really is. He's a solid, strong, tough prize fighter.
Consistent.
Yeah, Rollies is all about the niche and the shtick, and it kind of shows you the watered down nature of the game, that he was able to win a belt, and he was never in this fight. But this part was great. Play audio.
It's okay. I want to tell everybody, just thank you for coming out, and honestly, happy Easter, everybody. You guys, Jesus. It's like Jesus was resurrected. I'll be back. I want to tell everybody Happy Easter and thank you for supporting me and following me. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and so at least he didn't do the whole Happy Visibility Day. Anyway,
who is that?
That's
that was
Rollies.
Rollies, but like
Rollies.
I think something a little wrong with him, man.
Well, in all fairness, they shouldn't have interviewed him. He may have been concussed. That's one of those situations.
I took a lot from that. Like he's got bigger issues.
But even before the concussion, though, even when he's not concussed, he's a little. I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing, though, Darnell. He took a lot less money, from what I understand, and I heard some figures. He had the Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia was announcing it, and then all of a sudden he took glee in taking another fight for a lot less money. In his own words, to be an Amazon superstar. Well, you're not going to be an Amazon superstar, Rollies. He got beat pillar to post. And then last year, he got very lucky in a very premature stoppage against Ismael Barroso, one of the worst referee decisions ever from Tony Weeks. So it's kind of like Angel Reese.
Oh, man.
The energy you give, you're going to get back.
Thank you. Started the show with that.
But don't compare to Andrew Reese. At least Andrew Reese is a serious basketball player, though.
Well,
this dude Rolly is bad for real.
Yeah, but the Angel Reese, oh my God. I've been getting death threats and, this and that. And I've been sexualized. Nobody sexualized her more than Angel Reese.
I know. I said that.
I mean, she threw out a lot of traps. And I don't mean half-court trap. I don't mean full-court trap. Someone showed me her Instagram. A lot of thirst traps.
Somebody showed you, Steve?
Yeah, someone I was like, all right. And I just swipe left or right or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, who sexualized you? You did. What are you talking about?
Steve, I started the show with that.
And now she's a victim? No. You're not a victim. You're a perpetrator, which is fine, but you can't cry victim just because
make
you
your
lost.
money. To Smitty's point, make your money, girl, but don't bitch about it when you make it.
Yeah, but
both things.
But with Rollies, look, he to me is an example of the watered down, diluted nature of boxing. That a guy like him can actually hold a major belt.
What does he want to be? An Amazon what?
Amazon superstar. And I was like, okay, not a ghetto superstar, but an Amazon superstar. You know what I mean? I did take the Oscar off. I'm like, oh God.
What is he?
Not good.
Is he Hispanic?
Yeah, with a name like Romero. I mean,
yeah.
He's really bad though. Like, listen, I'm still learning boxing and understanding more of the nuances. But like, even with my eyes, I don't understand how he's a champion. How he even gets major fight. I guess he's good at promoting himself. Kudos to that. But he fights so wide. He fights like he's in the streets. Like he opens himself up. Like he cocks back from hello and keeps his whole entire chest and face open. I don't
Stands up in the air and he's got a very wide stance. Look, he's got heavy hands. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But from the very beginning of this fight, Aesop just banged him around. And I told Leonard Ellerby 4 or 5 years ago, I said, Leonard, because he had a gift decision against Jackson Marinez. I remember this card happening on Showtime. And Leonard Ellerby, we had a conversation. I said, Leonard, get him a real trainer. I said, serious. And then, oh, no, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And I was like, no. Actually, please. I know you guys don't like me, but I'm trying to help you guys out. He needs and he tried to get Ismael Salas, who's a really good trainer, but it's too late. It's too late. I think the die is cast. It's not going to change. He's a colorful, silly character, but in the immortal words of Logan Roy from Succession, you are not a serious person. You're not.
Is this serious?
I don't know what to say about that. It is what it is.
So he smoked the bong rip and then just knocked this cat out, I guess.
His hands are kind of quick, though. His hands kind of explosive.
What is it's all for the click, Steve. All for the gram. This guy just letting him hit him. Like, that's got to be set up, right?
This ain't real boxing, y'all. This ain't no.
Yeah.
I don't know what this even is, JB.
All right, Steve, I want to talk about offseason real quick before you get out of here, the NFL. Did the Jets have the best offseason? They got Hassan Reddick also to add to that deal.
I mean, I don't know. Their whole offseason is going to be based on Aaron Rodgers staying upright. It really is that simple. They could do a million moves. If that guy can't play football, it's not going to be a good season. So,
but assuming he does stay healthy though, like you add what Tyron Smith, you add a lot of help. I feel like to that roster.
Well, Coach Salah, he's under some heat, and there seems to be some grumbling from inside that locker room. But that comes with losing. No one's really happy when your season just implodes the way it did. But look, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and can play to a reasonable level that we've come to expect from him, that team's going to be okay. Defensively, they still have a lot of parts. Garrett Wilson, I think, will be reborn with consistent quarterback play. Breece Hall, in my view, is a really good running back. They have a shot to be a good team, but again, it revolves around one guy.
Steve, they got Tyron Smith. If he's healthy and upright,
Morgan Moses,
top 3 left tackles in football. You got Mike Williams, big body receiver, but he's also an injury-prone kid. Javon Kinlaw, he's okay, but it added more interior depth to an already explosive D line. You got Tyrod Taylor, who now could probably be, a backup that's decent, serviceable. Solomon Thomas, another interior D tackle to go along with the already loaded D line with Quentin Williams. You got John Simpson, who's a guard up front, to go along with him. And then they got Leaky Fotu, another big-time D tackle. They beefed up. They got Greg Zuerlein, a good kicker. And they got, I think, Chuck Clark, a safety, Isaiah Oliver, a corner. They did a hell of a job. They just got Hassan Reddick, another pass rusher that can play both, hybrid type of kid, to go along with Quentin, Jermaine Johnson already, a defensive line that's already kind of wrecked shop. And then you add the weapons on offense. They got a hell of a shot if, again, it's all down to Aaron Rodgers. Like, we've all had these great off seasons, and if your quarterback goes down play one, game one, you're probably not going to have a good season. Carson Wentz to the Chiefs. Steve, your thoughts?
If there is a coach and a situation where Wentz can rehabilitate and revive his career, it probably is this one. Look, Carson Wentz, before that injury, I believe in 2016 or 17, was looking like an MVP candidate, but he's never been the same guy since. So, look, he's a backup, and he probably needs to be a backup at this point. This could be a good situation for him, but I do wonder, is he here as a stopgap in his own mind that I'm going to eventually be a starter somewhere else? Or has he psychologically shifted into saying, you know what, I can make a good amount of money coming out of the bullpen and holding a clipboard? That I really don't know. But I kind of like what Kansas City's done outside. I think they've added some parts that are pretty explosive. And Rashee Rice, who's currently running a go route, he, they looks like they may have to get more wide receiver help after this past weekend.
Let me get your take before you leave with this Caleb Williams situation. Brian Poles went on McAfee show and said this.
You did it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Woo!
You did it. Okay, so that is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because every report that comes out about you guys and Caleb, or Caleb's pro day, or you guys dapping up at the pro day, or having dinner at the pro day, and meeting him with his teammates and everything, everybody's like, okay, Chicago Bears fans are like, our guy is our guy. As this process has gone on, with your research into Caleb, what have you learned about him that you've loved? And what do you think people maybe had a misconception of him, or maybe you had a misconception of him going into the entire process?
Yeah, what makes it interesting is he's probably the biggest NIL football player to come through the process.
Ever.
And so you have to kind of break that down, because usually that's not the case. And, you want to know, does he have humility? Can he self-assess and say, I'll take ownership of what he needs to continue to work on and improve? And he's checked all of those boxes so far.
I want to know, guys, how he checked those boxes with humility. I'm trying to figure out. I think it's just a straight-up fan, corporate sponsorship. Tank Johnson will talk about corporate buy-in from the league. Like, that's got to be a fan-pleasing get, because I don't know if he checks the boxes. There's no possible way you can check the boxes when Shaun King has come on and talked to guys he knows at SC. I've talked to guys I know at SC. There's no way he checks the boxes. Who's he checking the boxes with?
Here's the problem. What's Poles gonna say? Yeah, he's a weirdo freak.
Yeah, we don't like him. We're not gonna take him.
Yeah, I don't know what he can really say at that point. Look, I've been on record for a long time. I would not draft him number 1. And if I have the number 1 pick and I get the inkling that this guy's just biding his time for 4 to 5 years and he wants out. Look, when I draft number 1, specifically at quarterback, I want that guy to actually have the mindset. I can't wait to be here for the next 12 to 15 years of my life to lead you and to be here for a while. Not a guy that says, well, I guess I'm here for a short time, if not a good time. I'd be like, I don't know about that. To me, I just don't know if his game, number 1, translates to the National Football League. There's actually doubts on that. And guys like you, Coach JB, Merrill Hodge, that actually watch the game tape, not these guys that don't, okay? You guys are much more critical than those who did not play the game or understand or coach it. That's a red flag because game tape does not lie. The eye in the sky is all-knowing, okay? Number 2, his behavior. I think it's odd. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. And quarterback is a position of leadership and intangibles. I think he scores very low on that. And the fact that corporate media now has en masse taken to caping up for him, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, are you under orders? Are you under orders not to be critical, to have any questions about him at all? Look, I could be wrong about the guy. Maybe he is Patrick Mahomes with the manicure. But I personally, if I'm the Bears, I would not draft him, or I would trade out of that number 1.
So let me ask you this: you were high on Drake May early in the year. We used to watch him in the Football Palooza. We would watch him. You were high on him. Is he still high on your board?
I don't know if I'd take him top 10. I think he's got good intangibles. He's big. He's strong. He's solid. He can make most of the throws. And you cannot teach size, and he's got really good athleticism for it. But he also misses a lot of routine throws. That is alarming, okay?
Shaun and I, we're going to watch it filmed on Thursday. We got some film on him. I've been watching him, and I agree with Shaun King and Sean Salisbury. The ball does not pop off his hand. He's not a Will Levis, who we weren't high on. We're still probably not, but the ball popped off his hand when we got to see him. There's a difference. Arm talent is needed in this league. There's no more Joe Montanas walking around throwing intermediate curl routes because he's so gifted cerebrally that you don't need a big cannon. Tom Brady had a strong enough arm, threw a great ball. Nowadays, they're looking for the enamored big arm guy. Drake has the size.
Drake has the size. He has a lot of the my QB1 is Jaden Daniels, but he's awfully thin. And he's going to have to realize one thing at that next level. Your days of the 80-yard touchdown run are over.
It's over.
You better learn the hook slide, and you better understand you are to have no courage. Discretion is the better part of valor. I still remember RG3. His career ended his rookie year, basically, against the Ravens. He scrambled outside instead of going outside and taking his 12-yard gain, turned the ball back inside, and Haloti Ngata just came and ripped him. And that's where he busted his knee and Kirk Cousins was born.
Yeah.
Steve,
you better understand.
A guy that's climbing the board, and Shaun King actually coached him and got to see him up front and raves about him. He opened my eyes to him because I was not very high.
JJ?
Yes. JJ McCarthy. Where are you at with him? He seems to be on a lot of people's boards, and people are discussing making moves for him. I don't know if you – let's take a little film, watch a little film on this kid. Shaun King says he has big-time arm talent, next level, and he can make every single throw that the NFL requires. That was something that I was unaware of. Obviously, they didn't throw the ball like the RPO, slow it all over the park guy because of Harbaugh's system that won a national title. So that's what it is. But Harbaugh's super high. Harbaugh thinks he's the best in the draft. I don't know if Harbaugh would take him over Herbert, but has this guy Have you got a chance to look at him? Has he climbed?
Yeah, no, I watched a lot of his games. I mean, really, was he that much better than Drew McNamara, who also led Michigan?
I liked him in his games. Now that's just me on his game film. But from what I'm hearing, he's like, I guess he's the Will Levis of this draft. He's got a huge arm. We didn't really get to see it in that system. All these other things. So I don't know if that's the case or not. We'll see.
This could be Zach Wilson all over again. A guy that probably should be the back end of the first round based on what you think. Although the problem with Zach was they played a really easy schedule that COVID season at BYU. I don't know. Was J.J. McCarthy camouflaged by a really relatively conservative system at Michigan? I still remember that watching that Penn State game at your house, JV. They literally ran the ball 37 straight times in the second half. Now, one way you could say, hey, they Shamar Moore, who coached that game, managed that game to a victory on the road. You could also make an argument maybe they didn't trust their quarterback. But also at the same time, you look at Michigan's talent outside. I think they had a guy named Johnson, and their number one receiver was really Roman Wilson. Decent athlete. He's going to get drafted, but certainly not Anthony Carter or Braylon Edwards. I didn't think ever they had great talent outside. Now, they have a good tight end. I thought was a really quality guy that'll play at the next level.
Right.
So you'd have to really examine J.J. McCarthy. Number one, what type of system did he play in, the play calling, and the fact that I don't think their outside skill position talent was all that dynamic. It certainly wasn't what you see at Ohio State the last 7-8 years. So whoever drafts him, and it looks like he's going to go top 5, you are I think you're doing a boom or bust here in this situation.
Yeah, no doubt. Steve, as always, did you watch any UFL before you leave?
Nah, I was kind of out on the road Saturday this whole weekend, just kind of focusing in on boxing. So I might watch a little bit of it, maybe upcoming week or so.
We could do some football palooza if you're not doing nothing. And you want to watch fucking paint dry, we'll watch that.
Wasn't the Final Four this weekend?
Yeah.
You know what? I want to thank NC State. I want to thank you. Got those nail painters out of Duke out of there, those TikTok guys. I want to thank NC State. I know Jim Valvano up in the sky is running around looking for someone to hug. Word to Derek Wittenberg, Lorenzo Charles, Chris Corciani, Rodney Monroe, Fire and Ice. But what has happened to Duke? Duke used to be a serious program. I'm just telling you, those guys doing those TikTok things, I would have put them on probation just for that.
You think Coach K, on a serious note, got out early? He smelled.
Yes. Here's my theory on Coach K. He actually hated doing the one and done, but he had to do it. You have to evolve and adapt. And then he saw the fact that maybe you cannot coach the way you did. People have to understand Coach K came out of the academy. Who was his idol? Who's the guy that really mentored him? Robert Montgomery Knight. So in his core, at his DNA, he's a hard coach. And some of the value systems that he installed at Duke that created not only just good basketball players, but good solid citizens may not really align with his beliefs. And when I see Duke doing all these TikToks, I'm thinking to myself, my God, Thomas Hill, Grant Hill, Johnny Dawkins would never. Billy King would never. Cherokee Parks might, but would never. No.
Hey, imagine Grant Hill and Christian Laettner.
They wouldn't paint their nails, but if TikTok was out during that time, they probably would use it. But they wouldn't be painting
Bobby
their nails.
Hurley
They
would
wouldn't paint their
never.
nails.
Tommy Amaker would never.
You want to do a Final Four palooza? Let me know.
Yeah, we might have to do that. Let's do that. Let's do a little Final Four palooza.
Really can't come, but maybe we could do it.
I could come, but I don't know. I probably won't though.
Yeah, your wife ain't letting you out.
It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. I just my homeboy, I think, might be flying in and stuff. So like, I probably gonna be busy.
You ain't doing nothing.
But I just went to your house like last week. I drove 3 hours to his house, Steve Kim, because of traffic after work. That's a sacrifice that I made.
Timing is
to do a
everything.
live
But
show.
Saturday traffic, but Saturday traffic's a little bit different than
Steve. How far is
traffic.
down? How far is like the Fashion District from your house?
That's down the street.
Yeah, I think it's kind of close. I don't really go to the fashion.
If you in Koreatown, it's down the street.
Yeah,
I used to live downtown. I go to Koreatown all the time.
If we get a studio in person, Steve, We're gonna be better in person. We might have to do something.
We'll see.
We'll talk.
All right, we'll talk, guys. See you guys later.
Steve said, "Yeah, I ain't trying to hear that shit. You just talking
All
right
let's take
now."
a commercial break. I'm gonna take a piss. Tank Johnson on the other side. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we can see it. You being scary.
What I got to do? What do I got to do? I don't know. We didn't go over there.
You got to do a cannonball. So we got to do a countdown, and then you're going to run in and do a cannonball into the water. Do you know what a cannonball is? Or are you too old for that?
I got to just run in and do a cannonball?
That's all you got to do. You got to do a countdown. 5. We're going to be like 5, 4, 3, and you're going to run in and do a cannonball. Knees up, wrap your hands around your knees, pause, and jump in.
Yeah, that's easy. I thought you wanted me to dive in.
It ain't deep enough for you to dive in, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, it's deep.
I don't want you to kill yourself, JB. It ain't worth it. They ain't sending that much money. Chat, are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready to see? The shirt's coming off, y'all. The shirt's coming off. Are y'all ready to see Coach JB dive into the water? Everybody that sit their money in, I want to tell y'all right now, shout out to you. Because without y'all doing that, this would not be possible. We appreciate y'all for putting your money where your mouth is. And it's about to be go time. Coach JB, how you feeling right now, JB? Talk to us.
Come on, man. Pressure burst pipes. This ain't shit, dog. I'm from the mean street, homie.
JB! He did it, y'all. Hey, that was the biggest explosion I've ever seen. The whole water just left the pool. It went from 7 foot deep to 3 feet deep. It's empty now, man. I love it, man. Bring Ash in the water. Yeah. That's dope, man. JB really living that life. Hold on, y'all. Before we end the show, we got to see. Come on, Ash.
Come on, Ashley.
Look at Ash. He's scared. Ash, scared. Ash, I don't know what this is. Damn, JB got that money. Look at Ash. Dog pelling. Okay, Ash, I see you, Ash. Come on, Callie. You old school. Come on, Callie. See y'all, Callie, your old head. She like, listen, I done been there and done that.
Good boy.
Oh, Ash a little baby. He's so big, but he's still a baby. Hey, I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. JB is a man of his word.
If you can't go get no pussy, you cannot recruit. Keep it 100. And I used to fire coaches. Hey, coach, when last time you had some pussy? Shit, coach, been fired. Fuck out of here. I'm being real, homie. If you can't get no pussy, you can't recruit. That's number one.
I think we have to listen. I do not believe it'll be very hard to go back to the system where if you transfer, you got to sit out a year. I don't think that's going to be very hard. That's not going to be very hard to re-implement. I think we've overcorrected. You know, when guys start saying that this coach is messing up my mental health, and so therefore I should be able to play right away, and then they broke the gate open. I think if President Mark Emmert at the NCAA, who was also the president of the University of Washington when I was there, if it is going to be very simple to reestablish, if you transfer, you sit out.
We don't want to go out and turn over rocks and find the hungry high school kid. Guess what, dog? You know how many times I've been told no? It just takes the one no to tell me yes. But we're so lazy, we get told no one time. Guess what? If a motherfucker told me no, you know what I'd be? A motherfucking pussyless virgin. We're back. Pound the like, subscribe, become a member, and also find out about our Winnable. Go check out Winnable/Slap Picks and get your betting picks and access to Slap Nation Discord, our personal Discord where you can chat with us on a daily right now. $2.99 is all it is on our Discord. But check out our Winnable. We got up to about almost 60 members, I believe. We need 75 members so we can go live with our Winnables picks. So make sure 15 of you go on over there right now and let's get 75.
Let's do it right now, though, JB.
Yeah, right now. Go to winnable.com/slap picks. All right. One of our favorite guests, a lot of the fan favorite guests, former Super Bowl playing, Gary, Indiana bred, Arizona living, NFL D-line baller. Welcome in Tank Johnson, everybody. Clap.
What up, people?
What up, Tank? Been a minute. We miss you on the show.
The fans been begging for you. Where Tank at? Well, Tank is finally here, y'all.
Right. Yeah. Tank is in the building. Tank, what up? I know you about to start your show back up. Everybody out there listening, we got about 3,500 people in here. Make sure you follow Tank. Tank, I want you to drop where it's going to be right out the gate, and I want to get Smitty on there as a guest, and I want you to just like rip his ass first episode.
Pause. Yeah. So it's gonna be Tackling a New Kingdom, the Tank Show on YouTube. You can find it there all the time. Very, very good show, insightful, and you don't want to miss it. So, go on YouTube, subscribe to the Tank Show, look up Tank Johnson and shit, you'll find me.
It's on the ticker below, everybody.
Tackling a New Kingdom. I like that.
Yeah, the acronym for Tank, Tackling a New Kingdom. You know how we do. We thoughtful over here.
Okay. How's life been, Tank? Before we even down to the topics, man. Like any updates? What's going on? You got any new kids or anything? You got new thing? Like what's going on? New money? I mean, what's going on, Tank?
Come on, man. My kids is 20 and 19. I ain't having no mo. Just grinding, man. It's always a grind, daily grind. We're working. I see you guys is just continue to kill it. Been watching from afar. I was like, let me get back on here and heat it up with the homies real quick. So, had to jump back in it.
I've been arguing with JB solo, man. So, I know it's good to have somebody else on here who, we don't always agree either, but I do feel like Tank leans on my side on a lot of things. So we shall see.
BPS. BPS. You know what I'm saying? Put the white boy out there. Throw the white boy out there. Hey, let me ask you something real quick, Tank. Blood is not always thicker than water. I started the show off. Kobe Bryant had a strange family going with his parents as he passed away. Probably not the most ideal way to go out having that. I've had this situation, so I'm kind of abreast to it. We've had a lot of family members. I'm sure it just seems like it's a demographical thing. Growing up where I grew up, I'm like, why is it always the family member coming at me or waiting for my motherfucking ass to pass away so they can get my shit? I always looked at a family member kind of side-eyed. A lot of people say a blood's thicker than water. I don't know if it is. They auctioned off a $972,000 ring. There's two sides of the story, I guess. One side is, why are they broke? Why did Kobe leave them broke? He was worth almost $1 billion. And then the other side is, we don't know why that is. There's something to it. I have stories about certain family members that I'm like, well, you're a backstabbing motherfucker, and I actually listen to my homie first. So blood's not always thicker than water. Like I got an issue with my daughter. I don't talk to her. So I've been in all these different situations, and you can blame whoever, but do you agree to that or disagree with that? This Kobe thing. I know Gilbert Arenas came out and was like, the family should auction it off. Fuck them. And I'm just like, well, it's two opinions. Everybody has the right to have one. Where you at?
I feel like family will do you worse than friends. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they got a longer leash in terms of, the ability to always come back and reconcile. And so when you have situations with family, you don't know their situation, and all of a sudden you look up and you ain't talked to them in 3, 4, 5 months, but Christmas come around, Thanksgiving come around, and the family, oh man, go and talk to cousin Pookie. He ain't mean to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so family, they will inevitably do you worse than friends. And it's unfortunate, but you can't pick your family. So it's just unfortunate.
That's real.
Especially when rents due. It's crazy. Crazy. I had the crazy shit last few months, dog. I'm like, what? I don't make money like that. Like, motherfucker asked me for my AC went out. How much is it? $5,800. What? And then they audacity to like call me a piece of shit because I didn't do it. It's unbelievable. I'm like, damn.
Nah, it's the times that you say no that they remember. You know what I'm saying? They don't remember all the times that you said yes. I look at it real simple with my family. Like, if you ask me for something, then you are getting in the way of my generosity to just do it for you when I want to, right? Because there's a lot of times where, my sister, whatever, I just pop up, here you go, sis, because I love my sister, right? But then when you start asking me for stuff, then you just start tallying up the opportunities for me to be like, damn, I can't even do it for you now, So
Right.
Again, family, they always special.
Yeah. South Skull 650. Don't assume it makes asses of us all. Wasn't discussing, wasn't talking about my daughter at all about an AC. Dumb fuck. But anyway, let's move on to some football talk real quick. I know you don't pay attention like we once did, but in the offseason, the New York Jets, I just talked to Steve about, have upgraded the D-line, which was already very daunting. With Quentin Williams, my kid Jermaine Johnson, they had a great D-line last year. They've added Hassan Reddick, 3 inside interior guys to take the burden off the pass rushers and get them guys upfield, let them be on an island and demand the double inside now with a rotation of 5 legit D tackles. Did they have the best offseason in your opinion, just from afar?
Man, I tell you what, they're definitely making some noise over there. They got bashed on another podcast, and I think they're trying to build something. You know what I'm saying? And I think Hassan Reddick, he made one of my Tank's dogs list. One of the top guys for the week, and the Jets got a good one because do be coming around that edge. So I do think the Jets is making that noise.
I was thinking about this more when you asked Steve Kim, JB. Like, I think the Jets are definitely in the top probably 3 in terms of moves they made, but I still got to lean with the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I just think overall, obviously the obvious, pickup was Russ, and then Justin Fields is the backup. But you got to think about they signed Deshaun Elliott, on a 2-year contract. Our guy Patrick Queen over there. They got Cordell Patterson, just a good utility type of cat as well. So Quez Watkins, just another weapon on offense. So Steelers made a lot of big moves too that I think really put them in a position to actually compete in the AFC North.
Until Russell and Justin Fields, until they start playing on the field and producing, they technically got 3/4 of a quarterback. Because Russ, he ain't been on shit, and Fields got sent out for a 6th-round pick. I know the potential is there, but this ain't the NBA, man. This you're not getting it on potential. You want it on production. And both of them, man, they've been struggling.
Russ didn't play bad last year though. Overall, he was decent last year. If you take what Russ did last year with the Broncos and put him on the Steelers team last year, that's the team. I mean, again, they're already winning 10 games with nothing at QB. The Steelers had nothing at quarterback last year, and still made to the playoffs, and still was like a winning team. So even if Russ isn't Seattle Russ, okay, cool. Just be serviceable. He's better than Kenny Pickett and who's your other boy? He's better than them cats, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that's all they need.
Yeah, I think that, I personally think that it's a little deeper than that for actually both of these guys. Justin Fields, his team didn't really follow him like that. Like, he wasn't a leader of men, and neither was Russ, and like all the people in Denver didn't like him. And so he's got to get back to, I don't think there's ever been a time, even in Seattle, the Legion of Boom, they couldn't stand Russ. That's important to take a team far, that your team's kind of like support you. You're not just going to be on an island out there. So we'll see. We'll see if he changes some of that shit up, because that go Broncos and go Hawks, that shit weak, bro.
One thing you just mentioned too, you also brought up Justin Fields and him not being like necessarily a leader in the Chicago locker room. Obviously, as you sip out of your Bears coffee mug there, you are a Bears, legend through and through. How you feel about the decision? I mean, they've moved on officially from Justin Fields. I mean, we know they're drafting Caleb Williams. It's obvious. Do you feel like this was the right move? How are you feeling as a former Bear?
Nah, man. I think I think for the second time in a row, the Bears played their hand way too early, right? Like when they had the first pick, they traded it to Houston a month before the draft. You don't realize how desperate teams are going to be to get their star player. And so, it is a gamble. I'll be the first to say it is a gamble. But when you got the first pick, that is, when we play in spades, that's the big joker. Right. That's the big joker. You got to run that all the way up until draft time and see the desperation in a team. And same with this year. We let Justin Fields go for a 6th-round pick. Man, all we had to do was wait until the draft, package him up, and we could have got more than a 6th-round pick, which will turn into a 4th if he plays 51%, which he won't.
I almost had to pull out my strap on the homie the other day. This motherfucker played the big joker, and I had the fucking ace, and the little joker hadn't been played yet.
Don't you hate a motherfucker can't manage his hand?
Homie, what you said right now is just like, God damn. I was like, what the fuck you doing, homie? We lost. We fucking didn't even make books.
Y'all got set. No, man, that's what I'm saying. Listen, Poe's from Chicago, man. He'd rather have 5 jacks than 2 jokers. And I'd rather have the jokers, man. Let me go through, let me ride it out. But giving him away for a 6th-round pick, so that, what did he say? So that he kind of knows where he's gonna go. Man, this is the big boy league. This is not college. You better use that person and get him for the most value as you can. And I guarantee if you would have waited up until draft day, you could have got a lot more for that kid. So
let me ask you. Let me give you my perspective. What if I said I don't agree for this fact? First of all, I want to be on record. I think they should have kept Justin Fields for the growth that he's been doing, the roster improvement that I think the Bears finally gave some weapons around. I just was like, you're starting all over what you just did 3 years ago with Justin Fields. And now you're going to do it again. I didn't agree to that. But let me give you my take on this quarterback deal. So far, we've seen basically these quarterbacks that were just first rounders 3 years ago, 2 years ago, being traded off for a Chico stick and a string cheese. 25 draft pick, a 6th rounder with Fields. You got Mac Jones for a 5th round to Jacksonville as a backup. You've had Small Hands Pickett just getting pushed out of Pittsburgh for basically a Chico stick and a string cheese. The quarterback market has become like so bad, in my opinion, which we've been discussing for a whole season on this show. But like, do you think like they weren't going to get shit anyway? Look at what they're getting for these other guys. Like they may not have got shit for him the later they waited. I agree with your take completely. If it was 5 years ago and you were trading away, a Stafford or somebody, but like now, I don't know if these cats hold any weight.
I mean, that's why I said it's a gamble. But I think whoever the Bears general manager is, they always take on the same kind of they take the same reputation as the owners, and they go real conservative. And that's great, because when you get called into the owner's office, you're going to show, hey, I was conservative with this. I was conservative with that. You can't fire me for being like you guys. Man, I want to have somebody go in there, with some nuts like, yo, I'm going to let this shit ride, and I'm going to try to get the best possible outcome. Because if we're doing the same thing we did last time. We're predictable, and we're showing our hand way too early, and Bears fans is definitely not happy.
So just for clarity, you don't necessarily mind the move of them giving away Justin Fields and moving forward with Caleb Williams. You're just saying they could have played it smarter by giving away Justin Fields later on.
Yeah, and I
Right.
mean, I don't know if I would necessarily be married to the Caleb Williams kid. I mean, like I'm glad that I don't have to make that decision because
it's tough, man. Seriously,
like
either way.
JB said, the quarterback products coming out of college right now, they are not. I mean, listen, my draft alone, we had Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, we had 2004. Y'all go look it up. We had like a lot of Hall of Famers in that draft. And just looking at the quality of quarterbacks, like it's truly a crapshoot what they gonna do.
Tank, let me ask you this. Be real. At that moment, though, 2004, did you guys just know that Big Ben was gonna be what he became coming out of Miami, Ohio, which is a MAC team that I played against every single year? Did y'all just know Eli Manning was gonna win? Like, maybe y'all did. I'm asking because I was young. Like, did we know these guys were gonna be that? Because a lot of times, like, even whether it's current players, analysts, whatever, we're all just taking educated guesses, man. We really don't for real know. Caleb Williams might truly be everything that the people who are praising him think he'll become. He may not. Jaden Daniels might be. Like, we really don't really know until 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, yeah, I knew. Yeah, we knew Caleb was going to be this, that, and the third. Nah, like, I think none of us really know because there's so much intangible to go into this thing and so much of like fit and system and so many other factors that we just haven't seen yet that plays into the part of the success of these players that I think we're all just guessing. Is that fair?
No.
Okay.
There were less variables to account for in a traditional pocket quarterback, right? There was way less variables, right? It was like, okay, has he started, 2 full seasons? Does he's got the measurables? And, does he's got the intangible winning spirit? It wasn't, there's like 50 things you have to measure these quarterbacks by nowadays. And there was really only like 3 or 4. Had they led a team? Byron Leftwich coming out of the MAC. I mean, like, you knew, even though that ball was lesser, you could tell he was going to be a good quarterback in the pros. So I think now there's just so many more variables that you have to account for that it truly is a crapshoot.
Is the position harder now?
I think it's easier because there's not the demand to run an offense 1 or 2 ways. You don't have to stand in the pocket or run a play action. Now you can just run around and make plays like backyard, schoolyard ball. And that's fine in certain instances, but that makes the game easier for these guys to download, right? Because it's like, okay, if I can't stay in the pocket, I'm going to use my legs. That shit would get you on a bench in the last era, right? Because teams are going to hunt you down and hurt you.
Tank, this is why I told Smitty they're giving guys away for a Chico stick and a string cheese, because they're just going to grab the next guy who runs around back there, Kyler Murray, spins around, makes plays ad lib, and we're going to get that guy, and we'll just recycle. This is no different than college football recruiting. It's a meat market, and unfortunately, the kids are the pieces of meat in the market. This is what it is. It's recyclable business. Tank knows. I know. We've been thrown to the wolves for nothing, and it is what it is. They don't care about your health care. They don't care about this. They don't care about your tenure. They don't give a fuck at the end of the day. Nobody cares. So why would you think differently in the Justin Fields case? All you Bear fans in the chat, like, it is what it is. They're going to move on. I hate to see it. I thought Justin was making some strides, even though he had 0 O-line, 0 receivers. Fuck, let's be honest. 0 run game. Besides his +1 QB run game, there was no run game. And everyone wants to say, oh, they were 3rd in the league. No shit. By ad-lib QB runs in the pocket, from the pocket. So, like, I broke this shit down. I'm like, dog, you guys don't know football, really. Just stay in your lane.
There's this guy in the chat, AJ Maverick. He said that this guy says that playing in the NFL is easier now. Man, you got to listen, kinfolk. That's not what I said. What I said was playing quarterback is easier now because you are allowed to just run around and make plays instead of being forced to learn pocket, going through your progressions. It's an easier download. You got to pay attention. AJ Maverick.
I want to see. Oh, a guy with no face picture. I'm going to say, yes, it is easier. Fuck boy. I'm going to say it.
So why don't we think
nobody? You're a nobody. Like these nobodies irk me. I don't like nobody.
That's why we don't pay attention to them. So why don't we believe any of these quarterbacks in the draft can be good then? If we believe the position is easier now, it's easier to play the position in the league, it's easier to download. The league has changed. It's all these mobile quarterbacks. There's very few stand in the pocket QBs. Are we so down on this draft then? And we believe none of these quarterbacks who were really good to great in college will be anything in the NFL in this era.
I didn't say that they wouldn't be good. Only thing that I can really attest to is that when shit got hot, they didn't stay down. They got up, left, went to another quarterback and a coach and another culture. And like when you have that type of mentality jumping around, I just haven't seen somebody pick up a team, put them on their back. Shit, I could transfer to a team where they're just missing me. All they need is me. Okay, we could all do that, right? But until you stay down, do something, what you're gonna have to do in the National Football League, you can't jump from team to team. You got to go through the wins, the losses, the ups and the downs, and like I don't think that you really get that sample size from these quarterbacks. You see the talent, you see the ability. But the NFL is made up of much more different things, and so they got to get to the league for me to see that part.
Hey, it's real easy too, Smitty. Like to answer your question, the reason, the why. What is your question about the sample size and all this?
Well, because you just said that you believe it is easier to play the position in the league. The era has changed. It's softer. There's less for them to download. It's all these dual threat quarterbacks around the league, etc. So with all that being said, I was like, at the same time, you guys also don't, or JB, you don't really believe in any of these quarterbacks who are getting drafted. And I'm asking like why? If it's an easier league, why don't you believe that these guys, at least a couple of them, could adjust and actually have really good careers?
That's the question I wanted to ask. The question I wanted to ask, or answer, from you is, this is why. Why is because the history has told us why. You wouldn't be drafting a first-round quarterback every year if they were any good ones. Period. Like, if you had good quarterback play in the NFL, Smitty, first of all, you wouldn't be giving them away for a Chico stick and a string cheese 3 years into the league, number one. We just did that with 6 QBs. 6! And 2, we wouldn't be drafting these cats every single draft as a recycled piece of meat to replace the last guy we just drafted. Like, to me, it's an oxymoron. We're continuing to try to find the guy. Like, we shouldn't be doing that if quarterback market was so good as everyone thinks it is. It's not good.
Well, I agree to that, but at the same time, I think it's just that it's the era we live in, right, where you have to win like immediately. And these teams, these GMs have like short leashes. And if you're not showing them something in 2 years, it's a wrap. He's moving on. Like we disagree. We just both agree that we think Justin Fields should have stayed in the Bears and kept developing them and kept going. But then they don't have time. It's like, no, we got to figure out something right now. And if you're not showing something right now,
I would love to lean on
Back in the days, they would let you develop and take time and have a couple bad seasons and do that.
I would love to lean on Tank on that part, because I'm going to go on a limb and say that's never changed, Smitty. GMs and owners have always wanted to win right away and right now. They've always appeased the fan base, and they always have drafted to appease the fan base. And it's always been a do it now or it's always been a result-oriented business.
I think, at least in, before 2010, I think it was normal for a guy to get at least a year to sit on the bench and develop. So, if that's hurry up and winning, then yeah, they had to hurry up and win. But a lot of the great quarterbacks from the last generation, they got to sit a year. Aaron Rodgers, was one of them, you know what I'm saying? But again, man, it's just, it's tough. I was thinking about like the Cardinals, and when they got Josh Rosen, then they turned around and got Kyler Murray, and this was all like back to back, and like, it just shows that, like, man, you get it wrong, you get another one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mean it by quarterback standards. I mean GMs and owners have always had they've always been on that, under that knife, so to speak, that pressure.
Yeah, 1 year that's not like a long time, you know what I'm saying? And they always want to win now, but if you got the luxury, then most teams would do that.
Yeah, no question.
I feel like every draft, my last thing, I feel like every draft though, there's at least one quarterback that ends up being pretty damn good. Even you can think about the worst quarterback draft, there's always at least somebody that stands out like, okay, that guy was good. So like, I know right now, JB, we're saying, I don't know, this whole draft looks bad. One of these QBs is going to do something.
Well,
it may not be Caleb. It's going to be somebody though.
The best thing about the draft is that, like, you know, we're always going to be overlooking somebody because somebody's going to feel slighted and somebody's going to go to the right situation and ball out that we are not talking about right now. And that's the beauty of the NFL draft. And that's something that you can't measure when a person has that dog in them and they say, okay, I see you talking about all these dudes. Shit, I was pissed off when 2 D tackles went in front of me. And, you know, we ended up really having like the number 4 defense in history. You know what I'm saying? And that was because I had a chip on my shoulder because Junior CIVE, rest in peace, and Igor Olshansky went in front of me.
Damn,
I love it.
2 names. The thing is, like, I'm just looking back in time and I'm like, oh, these quarterback drafts for the last, I believe, whatever the stat was that I heard.
You said it yesterday. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, 66 or 68 quarterbacks in the drafted in the first round over the last whatever years have been bust. Like, that's a telling stat.
We got to define bust though. That's the only thing that's like.
Well, meaning they're not starting. They're not starting. They're not a franchise guy. They're not playing specific roles on their franchise. Like, that's, to me, if you're not playing, you were drafted in the first round, Smitty. Like, what are we drafting you for? You just saw 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, traded for nothing.
No, but hold on. I do want to say this though, and I want to get both of you guys' opinions on this. Okay, so Michael Penix, right, from UW, right? Like, like everyone is saying that he could go to Seattle with the 26th pick, right? They've got a lot of sample size on him, and I've been, you know, the one thing that turned me off about Penix was how he was so afraid to get hit in the national championship game.
That's why I lost.
Like,
I lost.
And like, okay, I get it. He was throwing darts all season. He had his little, demonstration going. But
darts.
Man, I mean, yeah, he was
like the game before that though.
Texas,
oh my God, I was like, this is the number 1 pick. Like,
but then when they start putting that wood on him, pause. He was chucking and ducking, and there was no game tomorrow. Like, I don't give a fuck if you broke your ribs or whatever. What do y'all think about him? Because I can't call it.
I like him. I ain't gonna lie. He was bad that game. I'm with you. And that should be alarming. But at the same time, like, I don't think we should get overly discouraged off a game though. I think we gotta look at the sample size though.
And he got 3 season-ending injuries at Indiana, maybe 4.
So there you go. That's that. If I have any concern, that's my personal biggest concern. That right there. He's he's had really bad injuries already. How sustainable will he be? Can you trust him to not have a major injury? That's my biggest concern. Other than that, man, I like the cat. JB's talked about it multiple times about the complications of being like a lefty at QB and how the offense got to make a lot of adjustments. And JB can kind of dive into that more if he wants to. So I understand that part, but I like him a lot. I think he's mature. I think that ball has some zip on it that you can make just about any throw that you need to make. I think he plays smart. He was a little scary in that big game, which again, that's alarming, but he was in the big game. You know what I'm saying? He did get to that point, and he played amazing in the game before that, which was also a big game. So you get there.
Here's the take. You made one statement. You said it was just a game. It wasn't just a game. It was the national title's last game. This was the last game for this quarterback to play. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you.
I got for the kid. It was the last game for the kid to play. Like, it was his last game, in my opinion. It wasn't just a regular game. And here's my take as a personnel guy evaluating it. I came on the show the next day and said, I lost him. He lost me in that game. Michigan had the most draftable players, 16 on their roster. Texas, knowing Sark, one of my better friends in this business, plays with the more, I would say, finesse style as a mentality as a head coach compared to Harbaugh. That defense was the closest thing that Penix will face in the NFL because they had 16 draftable players, 11 on defense total. That is what you're going to see in the NFL every day, Smitty.
But he'll have more too. He'll have all league guys with him too. That's the difference. You can't go to a bar fight with just
I get all that.
Weapons.
Nah, Smitty. I mean, I think if he's a first round quarterback, they're going to be building around him.
But I'm saying, regardless, he's in the NFL. Is what I'm trying to say. Like he's going to be around all all NFL players. It's different.
Yeah, I get it.
The
doesn't matter.
the line separation is not the same in NFL, in my opinion, compared to
college.
But
to me, he still has to
scrubs are scrubs.
Yeah, he's got to do what he has to do, Smitty. What he performed in that last game. Listen, you cannot give a heart transplant. I don't care who's around you. I can't give you a heart transplant to Tank's point. This dude dropped back and was throwing off his back foot because he felt heat. You can't do it in the NFL. You got to stand in there or manipulate the pocket and step up. He showed me some shit that I was like, damn.
And look, and like I go ahead, Smitty. Go ahead, Smitty.
No, one last thing. I would say he will probably be a first round pick, but he's not projected to go top 5, top 10. As you just mentioned, he might go to Seattle. So I think he'll end up in a solid situation. I don't think he's gonna end up on like a horrible team where he has to carry the whole load. Nah, he's gonna be in a situation where they got some pieces already in place where he'll have some dogs around him too. So that's my last thing I want to say.
Well, I would say this, man. Listen, I know about PTSD, right? Like when you've had season-ending injuries, you don't want to have that again, man. Like I've seen some real players that changed forever. Keith Rivers, when Hines Ward broke his jaw, Keith Rivers never turned and ran to the ball the same again. He would look, he would peek, and then he would run. He would never just burst out and run anymore. And so I felt like Michael Penix, he knew that he was going to the NFL after this game, and he was like, man, I can't get hurt in this game. I can't get hurt in this game, and so
I agree.
I just don't see how once he gets in the league, in the show, I mean, I hope he lets it go.
That's what I think. I think what you just said, I think he's like, hey, I want to win this bad. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm not about to pull a Jalen Smith. I'm not about to get hurt in my last game when I'm about to be a first round guy.
You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm saying that PTSD shit's real, but you can't do that, dog. Like if he I know for a fact if he's in a dark room watching that film by himself, folks is cringing like, damn, dog.
And I want to clarify a comment in the chat. CJ Stroud struggled 2 years in a row versus the same Michigan team. No, he didn't. See, that's why you don't know football. You know fantasy draft points. You didn't watch the game and fucking understand what CJ Stroud looked like in the game versus Michigan versus Michael Penix in the game versus Michigan. Stop. No, he didn't. CJ Stroud stood in the pocket, took a chin shot, and went through the football, which is equivalent to what has to happen in the NFL. Michael Penix did not do those things in that game. Stop.
We did have questions about CJ Stroud, though, coming into the draft, though. I will say that. And he asked, well, I'm not talking about you, JB, but he didn't go number 1. Is what I'm trying to say. So,
There is Penix. What do you mean? What is your point?
My point is that going to my original point from the beginning, we all just guessing right now, taking educated guesses, y'all. And we got people on here that, you guys, we know the game, but we don't really know until they go out there and step foot. Michael Penix might go out there and put on a show with the right team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But let's be honest here, okay? What we do know is what? They're trading quarterbacks for nothing at an all-time high. That's facts, as you would say. There's no guessing in that.
That's a fact. Okay? You can't argue that.
The other takeaway guess, elimination by process of elimination.
Yeah.
The quarterback marketplace is every single year draft a new one to replace the one I just drafted 2 years ago. This is not a good look for the position. I'm just telling you. That's just not what the NFL used to do. We are now, what do you want to, sacrificing possible Tank Johnsons that helps our team get better interior-wise because we have to be good on O-line and D-line regardless of whatever else you have.
Right.
We now can't draft that guy because we have to replace another quarterback every single year, and it's always the same franchises like the Bears. How about the Bears, who just had a great offseason, in my opinion, Go and get a Tank Johnson or an offensive tackle or a true number one wideout so DJ Moore can be his natural position and be in the slot and play the 2 and take Heat off. How about you get a running back? How about you go do a thing that we haven't seen? But guess what? They're going to go get another fucking quarterback.
But hold on. This is what pisses me off, though, is that these fucking general managers, they keep messing this shit up and they keep getting recycled as general managers, yet they don't want to bring, former players or what. And I'm not just champion for former players, but these GMs be fucking it up. And I don't think they're held to the same standard as the people on the field, and they should be held to a higher standard.
Yeah, man. I just think from a management standpoint, they're kind of, stuck between the rock and the hard place. Okay, you stay with Justin Fields and build around him. Let's say Justin Fields, continues to not win. Let's just say that, not win it in Chicago. And then Caleb goes somewhere else and he actually becomes Caleb. Everybody's fired. And they've already missed out on. They could have had Patrick Mahomes during his draft, but they got Trubisky ahead of him.
And Deshaun Watson.
So those memories are in their head. So right now they're like, listen, we cannot afford to miss out on another potential generational quarterback. Now, again, we're us three or whatever, we're not super high on Caleb. But again, there is a very well possibility that he could end up being a generational quarterback. So if I'm Bears management, I'm like, worst case scenario, I'm at least buying myself some time because no one's going to really question them drafting Caleb. It's like, all right, we get it. Whether we love him or not, we understand why you're drafting him, and it at least buys you time versus staying with Justin Fields. It don't buy you no time. He has to play well now.
Here's my counter to that. Number one, I've talked to Shaun Salisbury. I've talked to Merrill Hodge. We're in discussion of doing a quarterback breakdown show, and none of us, who I think have a decent understanding of the position, we all agree on one thing. This guy is not some generational talent we've never seen. He's not Cam Newton. He's not Mike Vick. He's not some dude we're like, damn, we ain't never seen the ball come off an arm like that. We ain't never seen a 6'6", 250 cat do that. We have seen Caleb Williams, dog, our entire life. That's fact. There's nothing he can show me on film that I haven't seen that I'm like, oh, fuck, this dude's fucking different. There's nothing. 3 NFL guys think that way. So that is what we can say. This isn't a guy we haven't seen before. And the fact that the people out there think that this is some generational talent is what blows me away.
That's why I'm confused, JB. Like, what are they? Like, what are they seeing then?
I'm just making a point that the quarterback market's shitty, homie.
No. I'm not saying confused you. I'm saying based upon what you're saying.
No, I know. I'm saying
why are people? Why? What are they seeing then?
That's my point. I'm still making the same point. The quarterback position is shitty. Everybody's gonna be that guy.
But they're comparing them to Mahomes, though.
Because it's so shitty. I'm telling you.
I think no.
That don't make. No, I compare guy to Mahomes just because the rest of them is shitty. Like, you got to be seeing something.
I think it's his arm talent, right?
Thank you. All right, come on now.
I think it's his ability.
I watched him play.
I think it's his ability to push the ball down the field from a lot of different angles. And that's something that, when people run out in the pocket and they get off balance, their balls drift to where they're going. And the real special ones can really put the ball on a dime. If you watch a lot of the passes that he's throwing to Jerry Rice's son, man, they are on the money. He's got arm talent, and and he's probably got arm talent far and above a lot of the kids in the draft. But I think that's what they're based it on, because it's not too many guys where their practice film gets circulated around the league. And when Patrick Mahomes was backing up Alex Smith, his practice films was getting pushed around the league like, you got to see this throw. You got to see this. And that's the same thing that they're doing with Caleb Williams. Some of his shit he pulled off in practice was circulating around, and that's why he's getting that type of praise.
That's all I want to hear, because I'm like, listen, everybody has different levels of expertise with quarterback play and football, but I mean, everybody ain't just stupid and crazy. So it has to be something that people are seeing. So that answers my question.
JB, you know who you look like? You look like Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump, dog.
I do right now with the black shirt and this.
And the hat going to the back.
Yeah,
Billy Hole. Billy Hole.
Billy.
Well, Billy Hoyle has a take to counter Tank's take. It's not his arm talent, because his arm talent, to be honest, for what we've seen in the past, is very average. It's not a guy that. It's not Will Levis. Ball's not popping up.
Says who?
Is average?
I've seen him in person live. I'm telling you, ball does not. Shaun King is on the show every week and says the same thing. Like he coached these guys. He coached JJ McCarthy personally and said it's not even close.
Well, he's biased. I'm gonna be real. I love Shaun, but he's biased. I got to see JJ. He got to do that. He got to do that in the game. I don't care about what
I coached them, bro.
I hear you. I
hear you. So you can take your shit for facts, but a dude that actually coached the dude is not factual.
All I said is I got to see it. I also know that when you coach somebody, you naturally. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's a reason why. It's a reason why Harbaugh offense. When Harbaugh had Andrew Luck at Stanford, he threw that thing.
I'm not saying we're not talking about the player. We're talking about the arm talent. We're not talking about the better player here. I'm saying arm talent. Tank's point. That's all I'm addressing. Arm talent. I want to just be clear. I agree with what Tank said about the ball placement on certain balls, but I want to be the guy that says the arm talent comparison to Mahomes is for this reason, not what Tank said. It's for his off-platform throws that make him get compared to Patrick Mahomes. Every ball that you see on a highlight, he's escaped the pocket and made an ad-lib play to his right over. Those are the things they compare to Mahomes. It's not the actual in-the-pocket arm strength. He doesn't have just awing like, oh, shit, this motherfucker got a cannon. That's not a cannon, by the way. That's not a ball. Look at Will Levis pro day and see the ball snap off his hand.
Caleb was really lackadaisical, in my opinion, in his pro day, which we talked about before. Let's look at game film throws. And I went and watched Caleb play against Utah, and it was certain throws he made where I'm like, golly, like that was crazy. He's running out of bounds, throwing backward. Like there's certain moments where, like, again, talent. I'm not saying talent-wise, I do see special talent.
You just said what I said, Smitty. You said he's running out of fucking bounds. That's what I'm telling you. It's off-platform throws that
but it's also the off-platform throws that are accurate.
Arm strength. That's all. Only thing I was saying to Tank. It's the off-platform balls that makes him special. If we're gonna call him special, it's not the pocket. I got a big cannon.
I think we're all saying the exact same thing, honestly. Dan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't think it's nothing to argue about. We're literally all saying the exact same thing.
Well, that's why. Well, the only thing is that's why it's a comparison to Mahomes is what I'm saying. That's the comparison because Mahomes is sidearm, jump, throw off balance. That's where they get the Caleb Williams comparison.
Yeah, and it was the Bears GM was the one that brought in Andy Reid and Mahomes, and they're looking for the next Patrick Mahomes, and he's probably the closest thing they've seen, again, in my opinion, on the arm talent side. And they're like, holy shit, lightning's gonna strike twice, and they probably don't.
True, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I want to ask your take on college. College football has added the communication devices to the helmet. Finally, high school's been doing it for years. I don't understand why it's taken this long, and now we have the whole still the sign gate and Harbaugh and all this shit. It took 6 games of suspensions and a guy to leave college football to get back to the NFL because they did not want to deal with this shit to finally put communication in the helmet.
The helmet
Let's hear it.
communication is pretty sweet. So basically, we signal to all of our skill guys and running back, and the helmet communication is Coach Hamden just telling me to play. If there's anything, alerts or any checks I need to know, he'll tell me that as well. And then basically everyone else is looking at the signal. I'll tell the O-line their job, whether it's protection or run play, snap count, and then basically just run it from there. So I don't even really have to look to the sideline unless there's a check that's late after the mic cuts off or something. Or
your guys' take.
I mean, ain't this what the NFL does? They've been doing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, good. I mean, I don't have no deep take for it. I mean, I think in my opinion, making college as closely resembled to the NFL to me is the best preparation for the cats trying to play at the next level. So I mean, I like it. I think it's something that should have been done. And yeah, man, that's all I got.
My biggest pet peeve in college is watching, 11 or 22 people looking to the sideline for a play. Like that shit bothers the shit out of me. Like, get some plays. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought that shit was weak. So that now that they got headphones in their helmet, I mean, next.
I used to hate as a defensive player too. Like if I'm playing against the tempo offense and I'm staring at the sideline and my coach is taking forever to give me the call, and I'm like, I'm trying to get in my stands and you're like, tell me where I'm aligned. I don't know what I'm doing. I used to be the worst feeling ever, man.
Man, I also think, it's so funny when people on the outside argue about stuff that happens on the inside, right? Like people been stealing signs forever. If I see you do something, I go to the sideline. Hey, coach, I seen them do this. Hey, write this down. Like it's just
hey, JB. This is cover 2. JB,
yeah, this is 2. When he do this, they gonna do this. And I mean, like it's a part of the game. And so to hear people make like this big fuss, like on the peripheral, people on the inside are like, all right, I guess
we've been doing. I guess being a devil advocate real quick. I guess the difference was that they're saying Michigan had a whole system. This guy's traveling to the away games and disguising himself and taking notes. So it's a tad bit different. But
I'm not gonna say what team it was, but like when we would have games, we would have somebody go and sweep the other team's locker room.
Smitty,
after they left.
I'm trying to tell Smitty, as coaches, we've been having street agents do that shit. Come on,
then, like,
this whole dressing up shit, stealing sign shit has been happening, dog. I paid a homie. I paid a homie, Sirquan, to go grab all the his real name, Sirquan Hardy.
Was that Hardy? Okay, cool.
All the film from these opponents 6 weeks prior, and then I want to put it in my system so Tank and I could break it down for 6 weeks in advance. What do you mean? This has been happening. I paid a street agent to go get me the film, homie.
And Tank, what was the full name of the cat you guys had sweeping?
Sirquan Hardy.
No, for Tank though. What was the name of your guy who was sweeping in the NFL locker rooms?
Yeah, I don't know. He ain't got no name. I don't care what his name was.
And what was the team? And what was the team? What was the team again? Tank, I forgot what you said.
The Cucamonga Cracker Killers. That's what they was. You know what I'm saying? But no, on some real, that's what we did. We really did that.
My take is a little deeper, and this is why Smitty quarterback stuff's so casual. It is deep. Let me be devil's advocate and the asshole here. The whole communication thing being equal to the NFL is what I want to discuss with you guys in the show. Smitty's like, oh, just make it like the NFL, blah, blah, blah. Well, the argument is we've been talking about how bad the quarterback position is, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to get worse. I'm just telling you. At what point do you teach and coach the quarterback? This is not just cutting a communication to the D tackle, Smitty, to your point, and saying, go get B gap. This is not the fucking same. Please stop equating that to get the communication in. This is a position that we're all on this show. All three of us have said has declined. Now we're going to just put a communication and say, here's the play. You're not going to teach this cat for the next level to understand anything about protection, which we already are talking about at an all-time high right now. They're struggling at the little things in football. Protection, side adjust, who's hot, coverage rotation. All these things we bitch and moan about with Kyler Murray, with Josh Allen in the red zone, with fucking Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. All this shit is because what? We all say college quarterback coaching is at an all-time low. So now we're going to make it even lower because now this kid just gets a card like Tank's point. Look over and get a fucking card of Stephen A. Smith's face. Now that has declined the position already over the last 15 years. Now we're just going to yell the play in this quarterback's ear. And what do we do when we get all the information, Smitty? We cheat. That's natural course of action. That is cheating. All right, now I'm just going to run the play real fast because I got the play. But no understanding of, oh, shit, 2 off this edge over here, Tank. We got to slide this shit. Roger. Mike, re-ID. We're not teaching shit because we took the verbiage out of the mouth of the quarterback. And that's why it is much deeper than your casual saying about, I just want it close to the NFL. I don't believe it's going to make it better. I believe it's going to make it worse. That's why I just wanted to dive into it. I want to get your both takes on that take.
I mean, you dropped the mic. I'm not a quarterback, so like at the end of the day, I understand the position. Of course,
But you agree that this declining. That's why I want to make that point.
Yeah. No, for sure. I just looked at it because I thought you were always the one saying, and what you kind of just said, that you didn't like the Stephen A. Smith sign card and stuff on the sideline. So I thought this going to a more NFL style where they're going to speaking it to him will be at least a step above that.
I could be wrong. That's why Tank was like next, because I think he was like, dog, there's no communication anymore. There's no huddle up. Tell me you don't even have to huddle. You can hang huddle, but the quarterback should get the whole verbalize the play to his guys, because that's the only way everybody's on the same page. I don't care if I get the communication and I just now signal to my guys. Those guys are still being signaled to. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I think it really boils down to like the spread offense system versus like traditional system, right? Like in a spread offense, it's more conducive to be able to tell everybody what they're doing from being lined up, because it's kind of an up tempo and they're all spread out. Versus if we're in 22 personnel, when everyone's standing next to each other, it's a different deal. And so I think we're now kind of having to merge that kind of new innovative way of play calling, because like a lot more teams are just running spread offense. I mean, first down, spread, 3rd and inches, spread, and it didn't used to be like that.
And we're gonna wrap the show up with some hell yeah, hell no that we love doing with Tank. But I gotta ask you, like, this is the issue I have. If we really compare, let's just say the last 10 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and then let's break down the last 10 years of quarterbacks, we clearly know the better era of quarterback right now. It's not written yet, to Smitty's point. It hasn't been written totally yet. But why would we change the way we operated at that position and think it's going to get better with better athletes at the position? That doesn't necessarily mean you're better quarterback. You're better athletes. There's always an old saying, you can be athletic. Athletic quarterbacks are different than a quarterback being an athlete. There's a huge difference in those two things.
I think with time, just naturally, stuff changes, and I don't have a direct answer for it. I mean, just in any sport. I mean,
I'm all for change, but not when it's not.
But when you have certain players impact the game, and then I mean, I always compare stuff to basketball because it's an easy comparison. Steph enters the league. Steph does what he does. The whole league has changed. I saw like a picture the other day showing it was like the 2003 NBA season overall shooting chart, and you saw the layup, you saw the mid range. It was mostly mid range and layup, a few 3-points, and now it was just the paint and the 3-point, no mid range. And we can say, why'd they change it? It's like, well, you saw a guy come in here, elevate the game, and I guess dominate the game with 4 rings, doing it his way from the 3-point line. And it's every league is a copycat league. Everyone wants to, if someone wins with using 2 big men, now they want to try to get big men. Someone wins, Mahomes keep winning the way he's doing it, they want to try to find the next Mahomes. So if a cat wins, let's say Lamar and the Ravens win this year and they're running the ball heavily and it works and they win the Super Bowl. Well, I bet the next year everybody gonna try to get a running quarterback and a Derrick Henry in the backfield. Like, it's a copycat league. So
again, to that point, we'll talk about tomorrow or something. But it's Frank who comes on the show, UMass head coach, great dude. Mm-hmm. For people dismiss the Steph shooting changed the game. No, the European big man changed the game, because when the 7-foot big man came over as a shooter, that made this a shooting league, to his point. And it's nothing but facts. Because
I agree, but I think Steph has been I think we're both right. I don't think.
Yeah, I think Steph changed what a bad shot truly was, and I think that the Europeans coming over here, it changed the way that we, international ball changed the way that America's playing ball.
And he's only mentioning the big man. He's only mentioning the center because we've always had shooters, Smitty. We've had some of the greatest shooters ever back in the day, but we didn't go to them to start the offense. It was through the big man.
Man, I played in the wrong generation because I was a 6'3" point guard. They made me play center,
right?
Because I was just the tallest. Man, they needed to let me cook.
I was always the center, Tank. I was always the biggest guy. 6'3".
But I had the best handle. I had a nice tray ball, and I could pass. Man, let's go. What we talking about? Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell yeah, hell no. Brought to you by Prize Picks. The Jets have had the best offseason in the NFL. Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no, to answer this question, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hell yeah, I like Hassan Reddick.
I'm going to say hell yeah, too, because Aaron Rodgers returns with an already loaded roster, so that's the key. Hell yeah, hell no. The NFL will be hard to watch this season with the new tackle and kickoff rules, Tank, which I wanted to talk to you about before, but we didn't get to it. We'll have to bring you back. I want to get your take on the hip tackle and all this shit, but hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no, we finna watch it.
Yeah, I'm hell no. I'm unless it moves to like tag football 2-hand touch, I'm still gonna watch it.
But just because we watch it doesn't mean it's not hard to watch.
Nah, I didn't think last year was hard to watch. I really love football, so I can make adjustments to whatever. I don't like the rule. I've been adamant on that, but they'll adjust. They'll still get these guys down, still be physical, and I don't think it'd be hard to watch.
Here's an interesting take I just heard that was going to possibly be put onto a voting doc. Hell yeah, hell no. College football will eventually have a 64-team playoff.
Hell no. Too many games, unhealthy, too many injuries. I don't see that happening.
What they'll do is they'll eliminate 12-game seasons. They'll cut them off at 10. They'll eliminate crossover games. They'll play more league conference games. And what they'll do is they'll just rapid fire these games per week. There'll be no bye, and they can still get it done in the same 5-week period. Money talks, Smitty. I would not be shocked at all. They're already going from 12 to 14, Smitty, and we haven't even played the 12 yet.
Has that been confirmed yet, or they're just talking about it?
Yeah, they've already put it to a red. They've already voted yes. So they're going to play 12 this year, and then it's going to go straight to 14, and we haven't even seen the 12 operation yet. Like, you don't think they're going to add? You don't see
You said 64, though, so I mean, it's a long ways to go.
I can see it. You're just going to have everybody in the thing. Think about it. This is a trophy out. Give everybody a trophy generation, dog. Let's be real. Tank, as always, follow Tank on all social media, Instagram and Twitter, and follow Tackling a New Kingdom, the acronym for Tank, which will be on YouTube and I'm sure on X and IG. Shout out to you, and hope all is well, Tank. We'll have to get you back on, if not this week, next, and we'll talk about the Final Four. And who you got in the Final Four anyway?
North Carolina State.
Me too.
I got Purdue, the other big boy, and I got money on it too. So I hope y'all wrong.
He does have money on it. He should tap out right now because NC State gonna give him the business. Shout out, Tank. We'll see you next week or this week. We'll holler at you, and appreciate you coming on. And everybody else, pound the like, subscribe, become a member if you're not one. We will see you on the other side. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the ass a rap. We want the